welcome back, everyone. Yesterday, we got a look at the EMEA #2 seed, but today, we're actually going to feast our eyes on the champs of the region, of course, as we welcome Guild X to the stage. And Kakuka, this is a team that, you know, has had quite the journey up until this point, but I'm sure for them it must feel good to be in this position.
Oh, definitely. We're talking about the team that was always in second place, always looking at the back of G2, trying to reach just with their hand. And so many changes that we had seen in this roster. It's very funny because if you actually think of these players individually, the only one that was not a duelist main was Roxy. Okay, but everything seemed to fit out perfectly. The experience is going to come from the side mostly of Claudia, but the things that this girl have been able to achieve in the server are on a different level, especially since their new coach joined the team. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. He was coaching before in OG and he had good results, but definitely what he's managed to do with these girls is like start every single time that they tried to start over, they needed to change one of the pieces because you need a new look at things if you're trying your hardest and not achieving it.
Yeah.
I mean, here's actually the timeline I was going to say real fast, Athena. Sorry about that, but this is the timeline of them, you know, and what they've accomplished since then. So like we were saying, it has been a journey for them.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, if they're going to perform the way that anywhere near what G2 did and kind of put up a show the way that they did yesterday, I'm definitely looking forward to watching this.
Yeah, completely. It's definitely been a journey for them, but this is the kind of journey that people aim to have. I'm actually giving 100%, and thanks to that, I'm improving, and I got to the top.
Yeah, it's great to see that hard work really pay off here, right? And it is going to be a bit of an adventure for them in this competition. This is, of course, a roster of powerhouses, and, you know, it takes a veteran voice, right, to keep things controlled, and there's no better person for that job, right, than Claudia. And you know, actually, Athena, this is perfect for you because you're always that voice as well. You're always that voice of reason for your team. So I guess give us a little bit of insight from the player's perspective, having to be that leader on the field.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a really big job. You have to keep everyone's mentals, you got to keep your own emotions at bay, and you got to like really lead your team into what seems to be kind of like a war zone pretty much. And Claudia, she's had a really good reputation. I mean, she's also one of the FPS veterans in my eyes. She's been playing CSGO for such a long time, and then once she switched over from the FPS, she started just being an absolute beast at the game as well. And I think she brings a lot of knowledge, a lot of past experience to this, and that's what we were talking about yesterday. Yesterday that G2 had like a lot of previous experience, and so I think coming into this, it's just going to work out really well for them. Yeah,
from yesterday, we're very committed to the idea that definitely experience is a degree that some people really have studied it, and it's paying off. So I think that for the side of Claudia, she needs to do it for her teammates.
Yeah, well, you know, speaking of Claudia, by the way, let's actually take a look as she introduces us to EMEA's #1 seed, Guild X.
My name is Claudia. I am the in-game leader for Guild X. I think what makes Guild a unique team is the fact that we have a very aggressive play style, and we love to value creativity and freedom over like traditional strategies or meta.
How is Ness there? Just ulted in?
Just straight up, Mimi's dead. Oh, the follow-up! Mary's got Ness has seen so little but succeeds in so many ways.
I think why our team is so powerful is because of our personalities. Roxy and Smurfette and I have very similar jokes. We have very similar playstyle. We have very similar personalities. With Ness and Anya, they're the newer members. Like if you meet Ness and then you meet the trio, like she's just such a like angel compared to us. And then Anya is a very confident player. She's very serious as well, but I think she fits our playstyle. Ultimately, we're all friends, and I think that's what makes our team really good. The biggest risk taker on my team is definitely me. I have a very aggressive approach to the game, and for me, even in life, not even when it comes to games, like I have always been a risk taker. Even when I would lose a match, even when I made a crucial mistake, I always built on it, and I took it as a learning possibility. As an IGL specifically, when I'm confident, I think I make some of the best calls, and they're completely based on intuition. I believe in the statement that, you know, tomorrow's uncertain, you have today, and for me, I love to live life with no regrets. We want to win this event. We want us to be the first team that is remembered as the winners of the world champions. But the other thing that I would want us to be remembered for is for our play style. And I think we are different from every other female team, and I think a lot of teams don't know what to expect when they play us.
It's all over.
There's no time!
Plans can do nothing about it. The plan's not gonna happen.
We're here to just show everybody that we're gonna win.
lot of confidence there, and also the reflection as well. Kukuka, I think, is very important for Claudia. It's great that she has that mindset.
I love that she acknowledges that they've grown a lot, that there's still a lot to learn. Funny to me, she says that they're super aggressive, but coming into especially this matchup, I've been running some stats and from the 1st of June, and actually Shopify Rebellion is the fastest team in terms of how the average time for the plant and getting the first kill. Guild is the second last, so it's not that aggressive, and that comes from actually something that they learned very well, and is adaptability within the server.
Yeah, well, let's actually see how that plays out. But I'm glad you mentioned Shopify Rebellion, because we're going to look at the other side of the stage, and of course, hoisting the mantle for the North American reps in this cross-Atlantic clash. It's of course Shopify Rebellion, and Athena, this is a team that you are very familiar with, having competed against them as well in the NA region. Lots of talent on this lineup.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we lost against them a bunch of times, so we got to give respect to these girls. They are awesome players. I mean, they have obviously their veteran kind of FPS pro, Benita. She's going to be, you know, one of the staples on the team. She's not necessarily the IGL, but she definitely has a voice. And bringing that kind of power into the game is something that every single team needs, whether or not it's an IGL.
Oh, then the Naruto run. That was amazing.
You saw that Lori just zoom in past. And as we speak about Lori, she is their zoomer, the insane aimer. She's going to be going crazy. And then obviously with Shopify, they do kind of have a similar story arc with Guild. And they actually have lost to C9 every single time. They came close. They have a 1-3. They have a couple of 1-3s, but they were constantly in that second place. Yeah, once.
Yeah, I mean, it's still there, but if you have to compare them, you know, in let's say that in Guild it has always been in crescendo, and always, you know, like getting closer and closer. But with Shopify, to me at least, coming in as an EMEA fan, no, but coming in here, to me, they have to give me something to believe in, because in so many instances, I see them getting so close to actually what they think they are on the server, and so many ups and downs. Like, we need a little bit of consistency here. If they have the day, they're going to be amazing. But I'm concerned that if it's the other way, they need to have more than one day in this tournament. That's what I mean.
Let's actually talk about that, right? Because if they are going to take them down, right, there are some players that are going to be have to, you know, focus on here for them to really shine in those moments. Perhaps one of those players could be Flowerful, for example.
Yeah, I mean, Flowerful has always been this staple kind of playmaker for the team. Yeah. She's the one who does the things that kind of throw the other team off guard. She gets behind. She gets the multi-frags even sometimes for her team. Flowerful as a player is the one person that can completely flip around over and turn it into the side of SR.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that she needs to start very strong, because I think, like, especially with the emphasis that she's put on Chamber, based on what we saw yesterday, Mary coming in for the first time and being so impactful, if we need someone from Shopify Rebellion to step up from the very first minute, it has to be her. It's a lot of responsibility, but I think she can pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Shopify, this is kind of their redemption game. Like, you know, we saw C9 fall to EMEA. So maybe if they
gotta even things out, right?
EMEA, we can kind of even things out, have the regional pillar, and then we can go from there. But like, I really think that this is their time to kind of shine, because they have never pushed through and won that first place. Like, that has never happened. Guild X managed to push through in the final moments. They beat G2 in the finals. They kind of made their name. They put their name out there. They said, look, we can be #1 seed too. But Shopify still hasn't managed to do that. But I think they've had enough time to prepare. I think that with this, they can definitely push forward and make it happen.
Yeah, well, you know, they have to meet the moment, right? And the moment most definitely is now. But actually, let's go ahead and hear from the NA reps, because we have Yinsu and Potter that had a chance to sit down with KP and Benita for a quick chat.
Hello everyone, I'm Yingsu, I'm with Potter, and today we're joined by two of the players from Shopify Rebellion. It's KP and Benita. Guys, welcome to the first ever Game Changers LAN event. You found a lot of success online. That is the reason why you're here. But how do you think, what do you think you need to do to be able to replicate that performance in a completely new environment?
Honestly, to replicate our success online on this LAN environment, I think with our team, it's going to come from energy. Like keeping our energy. We are either Shopify Dreadbellion or Shopify Funbellion. And when we're Shopify Funbellion, like, I swear we are a completely different team. Like, there are times where we'll hop into a server and feel completely flat. And I feel like there are other times when we hop in a server and everything is going right for us. And I think it's really noticeable to people in our gameplay.
What about you, Benita? Because you've been in this environment many, many times before.
Honestly, it's all about energy. I'm just really excited to be on stage, and it's just going to be really interesting to see how everything pans out because this is like the first LAN for Game Changers. So,
speaking about the first LAN, Benita, we've been teammates. We were teammates for a long time. This is a two-part question. I gotta go to KP first, get her answer, and then I'm gonna come back to you. I gotta know, does Benita still like opping so much that she follows you around and waits for you to die and then picks it up after?
She doesn't follow us around and wait for us to die.
Okay.
But so we're both actually secondary oppers.
Okay.
So during last Game Changers, I was Sova opping on Breeze. So and there are times where I'll see Benita like mid-round 3v3 or like we're down 3v4 post plant. She picks it up. She picks it up. Viper op, and I'm like, damn! I love how you whip that thing. So
you gotta gas her up a little bit.
She still does it.
All right, she still does it.
She still does it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Benita, second part, experience. We always talk about how much experience you've had. I mean, you've quite literally grown up in the scene so many years. How's it been kind of juggling that? I mean, when we were teammates, you were my Zoomer, and now you're surrounded by these Zoomers, and you're the experienced one. How's that been for you?
honestly, it's so, I don't know. I said this in another interview. I'm going to say it again. Like, this whole experience in the last 20 years, it really makes my life feel like it came full circle. And it's just such a beautiful thing to experience this whole thing from the beginning to now. 3 different games, 1.6 to CSGO to Valorant, being the youngest to now being the oldest. It's seriously we went from such small women tournaments to 500K tournament. Honestly, I really feel like my life came full circle with this tournament.
Yeah, and KP, you're part of that journey as well. You're on your own journey. I did want to ask you, because you have a lot of responsibility coming into this tournament, IGLing. There's a lot of other incredibly experienced IGLs as well. What is your philosophy, and what do you think you'll need to do to kind of overcome the experience that they already have?
My philosophy, just honestly, I rely on my teammates a lot. I've always looked up to Kerrigan from Counter-Strike, and I feel like he's been a prime example of letting your players almost unlock themselves, right? Unlocking your players to the fullest. And I feel like on our team, we have 5 people. There's usually teams out there, they have a bot or 2, someone who can't shoot back, right? But our team, all 5 of us can shoot back. And so I'm not worried, when we get into the server, I know that everyone's gonna step up. It's more my job is to make sure the energy's good, make sure people are believing in each other, trusting in my calls, especially in 2vx's, 3vx's. It's really, really important that people are listening to others and not making too many hero plays, too many diversions, etc.
Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing how that plays out here in the tournament. Thank you, you two, for joining us and for your time, and good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, well, there you heard from the players of Shopify. KP, she's a troll.
Who do you think are the 2 bots in Guild Eggs?
No,
What are our bots? Wait a minute.
Who are you?
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, the existential crisis you're going through. But you know what, though?
They say that if you cannot identify the problem, probably you are the problem.
No.
No,
It's been like that for me my whole career. It's been like that for me my whole career. But there was something for Benita there. Yeah, I mean, really, this has been a full circle journey, right?
Yes.
I think for a lot of the women that are playing in this competition, right? From doing side events or whatever they may be to being on the main stage. It truly is an incredible full circle moment.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate because I also now am surrounded by Zoomers, and it's a whole different game, and it literally just makes you feel I feel like I have to be, kind of a role model, kind of an example for my teammates. So I can only imagine what it's like for someone like Benita, who's been doing it for way, way longer than I have, who has been on way more teams, way more experience. She has a lot to bring to the table, and it feels like she's the role model, the experience, and KP, she also brings that sense of maturity to the team, and I think that's why Shopify Rebellion is just such a good team together.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see them take the stage. It's going to be awesome. But we're going to step away for a brief moment, and during the break, make sure you guys vote on who you think is going to come out on top in today's matches, because in not too long, we're going to have Guild X and Shopify Rebellion take the stage. Don't go anywhere. This is VALORANT Game Changers Championship. Welcome back, everyone. Now let's go ahead and kick things off and hear the internet's wise, sage opinions on who is going to be taking match one here today. Who's actually going to be doing, you know, the business here today. But also I want to hear from you guys as well, because I know we're going to be split, but let's see. We got Team Liquid.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
The polls have been wild.
I don't find this one as such a big surprise, because we know that Brazil has a big following, and especially this team has been around for so long that of course they have a lot of support.
Yeah, I mean, Liquid definitely can put up the numbers. We've seen them do it before, and I think that, like, I personally am super excited to see them play. So I'm not surprised about this, but I am surprised that Guild X and Shopify, no one really cared that much. I mean, I'm super excited for that game.
Not for Shopify. I see Gil there. I see Gil there.
Where the fans at? You know what, though? Yeah, I mean, yesterday, like Asia, I believe, won the poll for which region was going to win, I think it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's very clear that, you know, we're living in some wild times here. But real quick, let's just get the official predictions before we jump to the show. Who do you have?
I think I'm torn between Guild and Liquid, but just because yesterday was too big of a day for EMEA, I'm gonna go with Liquid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I gotta even things out. Gotta make it spicy.
For me, I'm gonna keep it spicy, but in a biased way. Shopify Rebellion has my vote. I'm sorry.
All right, we got Liquid and we have
NA.
Shopify Rebellion. It's going to be exciting. All right, folks, well, here we go. Our first bout is moments away, so let's go ahead. Let's actually wait no further and kick off day 2 of the Game Changers World Championship.
I've been playing for 20 years now. I always did it because I loved it so much.
Playing on Shopify, I'm really excited. Benita is an old teammate of mine from CSGO, so I know she's a great player.
Being in Berlin for VALORANT for the first Game Changers global event, it's a full circle moment for me.
I know that Shopify is good because of what she brings.
I think NA is on a different level compared to the other regions. Something about our gameplay is just a little more advanced.
I've watched a few of their VODs and I kind of see how they approach the game. Yes, I'm feeling confident. Love you, Benita, but good luck.
特定のチームに対して何かを用意してきたわけではなくて、試合ごとにどう動くか、そのマップでの動きとかなんかまあ基礎的なところ。
Estoy muy ansiosa para jugar contra Channal. Para mí es algo nuevo jugar contra equipos que no sean de Brasil. Esa ansiedad es una ansiedad buena para jugar contra equipos que no conozco. Estoy preparada para ese momento.
私たちが見せなきゃいけない女子でも戦えるんだぞっていうところを世界に見せつける場を与えていただいたっていう感じですかね。
Entonces, Channal, prepárate porque mi equipo está con mucha más mira que tu equipo.
Oh man, the hype is real. Can't wait to dive into this one. We have 4 teams, 20 fierce competitors ready to step onto the international stage. And I know Gildex, Shopify Rebellion, Fennel, Hotolava, Team Liquid, they are all ready to go. So all that's left is just get this party started. Let's ladder up.
Gildex, Shopify Rebellion, Channal Hotolava, Team Liquid.
It's now time to dive into our map vetoes. Let's see what we're going to end up getting out of this one, Kukuka. Very exciting to see where these teams decide to take each other.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to be seeing the Fracture because it's a very strong map for both of these teams. So I would be really excited to see that happen. And I expected this kind of to happen. Shopify has decided to ban Guild's strongest map. And Guild is deciding to ban Breeze. This is something that they've done a lot in the past, but I kind of expected them to go with something different and ban specifically for Shopify Rebellion, because I wouldn't think that, okay, well, this could be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams haven't played Pearl a super much ton.
Yeah.
I know that Guild, you know, they recently played against G2, and obviously that was one of the maps that G2 ended up winning. Shopify, you know, they don't have that good of a record, but they do have a positive record on Pearl, so I'm excited to see how that goes.
I think that it also follows the narrative that we've been setting up, especially yesterday, of how important Pearl has been. If you want to test it, do it as soon as possible.
Wow.
Definitely expecting some surprises, so no Fracture. It's going to be, I was actually surprised, you know, that Guild went for Haven. It's a good map for them, but definitely, you know, leaves me thinking that they have something ready, and the decider is going to be Icebox. Great results that Guild has been having on this half. I expected it to be Fracture, literally, for the last one.
Yeah, I really was not expecting the Icebox. I thought that Shopify would have gotten rid of that a long time ago, because they don't really like that map that much. They haven't played that well on that map. So.
I think that they kind of wasted a little bit the bind ban, because I think that Guild would have definitely go for the bind ban.
Yeah, this is interesting. I feel like looking at the series layout, I got to side more with Guild on this one. I like Guild's draft in this. You know,
wow.
Listen, I'm an international soul. You know, I travel the world. Okay, I care for it all. I'm Mr. Worldwide. Pitbull, step to the side, buddy. But anyway, guys, well, look, the maps are going to be locked in, and we're going to take a quick break, right? We're going to reflect on this, and when we return, our fearless competitors are going to take the stage, and we're going to jump into the action. You don't want to miss it. Welcome back, everyone, to the Game Changers Championship here in beautiful Berlin, where the teams are itching to take the stage and battle it out in those stations. So let's go ahead and waste no time and welcome our squads to the stage. Here's Gildex and Shopify Rebellion. For this one, good to see the personalities of the players coming. Also, want to give a big shout out to my boy Rob Wiz. Good to see you on the stage as well, my friend. But yeah, this is going to be. I'm excited for it. You know, I'm excited for both of these teams. There's so much at stake here, not just regionally, but also just these two squads looking to prove themselves here on this stage.
I love that you mentioned Rob, because actually I talked to Benita and she told me that he's one of the best coaches that she's ever had in her entire career. That what he brings to the team is definitely sometimes underrated. And Joint, I think it does the same. So a lot on the line for these two teams. You know, the eternal second places of NA and EMEA. Yes, Guild did break through that ceiling, but for Shopify Rebellion, this is the moment, you know, to take it on their side.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot to prove for themselves and for everyone else watching. Like, they both as teams really, really have a lot of obstacles to overcome. And I think both these teams facing each other is going to be an insanely close matchup. Like, a lot of people don't understand that both these teams are similar in terms of stats, in terms of map pool. I think Shopify has one of the biggest map pools, but it's not necessarily the best map pool, you know? They've had like win rates that aren't that high on certain maps, and I think that just coming into it, both of these teams and both these map pools is gonna look like a really, really close game.
Yeah, and especially with all the changes that we saw yesterday coming in from G2, and especially the way that they've performed in LAN, we need to remind people that this is the first time that these teams are in a LAN, okay? They need that kind of experience, and this is one way to get it.
Yeah, I think that both these teams also have that veteran ready to show the way, like show them the way.
And they know each other, so they're like looking at each other and being like,
yeah, and that's something we actually really didn't get to talk about a lot, right? You know, there's that little bit of a rivalry, you know, also.
It's a healthy one.
It's a healthy
They
relationship.
look up to each other, you know?
Yeah. Oh man, this is gonna be a fun one. I agree with you, Athena. You got a lot of parallels between these two squads that really, I think it's just going to play out throughout the entire series. And no, that is not an hopium. I really think it's like the journeys have been so similar.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, like, seriously looking at it from just a statistical or an analytical point of view, these two teams are so similar, but so different at the same time. I mean, even talking about their playstyles, like you were saying earlier, Kakuka, you were saying that, you know, Shopify has some of the fastest rounds in Game Changers. And Guild actually, funnily enough, in the interview, they mentioned that they do have an aggressive playstyle. It might be a little slower, but it may be just as aggressive as Shopify.
I think it comes more with adaptation, and it's definitely what we want to see in the server, because of course they haven't played against each other. One of the reasons why Guild think that they're aggressive, but we see those stats falling down, is the fact that they had to adapt to a lot of things on the way. Is the fact that they were able to do it, that they managed to get here in this first seed. So let's see how they adapt to Shopify Rebellion, because obviously they're going to be a very hectic in the sense of very aggressive team going on very fast.
Yeah, I think for both of these teams, it's genuinely going to come down to who is having the better day. Like, both of these teams, when they are having their good days, they both perform. But when they're both having their, you know, little less energy, a little less comms, kind of what KP and Vanita were saying in their interview as well, they don't perform as well as they can. They both have really high potential, really high skill ceilings, and I think just like that, both teams have a chance.
Yeah, but and also the way the Game Changers has been developed and has been evolving. You know, on the first rounds, you go against teams, you play a lot of BO1s and then BO3s against teams. You can easily, you know, roll by. Let's just call it that. But here, you need to give 100% since the very beginning. You have two chances. You lose today, you lose tomorrow, you're out. So of course, there's no other chance that these girls are going to have. So I wonder who is going to come up on top.
Yeah, it really is also just the impact players in the moment as well, right? Who will be those individuals for each side that step up, because we saw that happen yesterday with Juliana, where she was just on freaking fire and no one could stop her. So it's like, if you're playing like that, if any of these players are playing like that, good luck. But I believe we're going to get the Prime Gaming Agent Select coming up here in a moment. But yeah, Athena, it's really just going to boil down to that.
Yeah, I mean,
if I see a Yoru, I'm out. If I see a
Yoru,
I'm
forever. We should get a Phoenix for Yinsu. A Phoenix for Yinsu. She goes so happy. We see the neon on Sonder coming in. Now this neon, Sonder has performed so much on this neon, and both these teams ended up picking it. So they're actually almost copying comps, but the only difference is the Breach and the Killjoy. We have a Chamber and a KO here.
Yeah, but this is a completely different composition coming in from the side of Guild. Smurfette playing on the neon, Claudia on the Fade, that I think it's so necessary here. I see a lot of potential in the combos with Anya moving on to that Breach. The fact that they have no KO, it literally changes the entire perspective that they can have around the map. So, you know, expect a lot of well-thought executes on their side, because they're going to need them.
I actually really agree with that, because as soon as you see the Breach and you see that kind of comp, you know that they're going to have to focus on executing and kind of taking it the way that they can.
Well, let's go ahead and jump right into the action. The players are ready to go, and we're moments away from combat. So let's go ahead and turn up the noise, everyone in the arena, for some pots and pans.
You're giving too much fun to GB, but yeah, already, before I derail it completely, I have to say shout out to the guy in the crowd who had that incredible sight. Boy,
We paid you enough. It's worked out. It's worked out. Glad that worked. But we do have a great game in front of us here, Potter. Let's dive into some of the intricacies because my expectations initially, quite a 50-50 here.
Yes.
But that veto's put me in a weird spot. But has it changed your mind?
It has, you know, I mean, if anything, yesterday showed us the unpredictable factor of Pearl. You know, all these new compositions coming out. The map hasn't been out for very long, so I'm excited. It has certainly changed my viewpoint of how this series is going to go. I think map 1 is going to tell us a whole heck of a lot.
I think you have summed it up perfectly. Map 1 is going to be truly telling a massive change for Guild composition-wise. I would say, you've got to note Roxy. As much as I question mark at KJ coming in here, absolute specialist. If any of you have ever seen them on Icebox, roll your minds back. Truly a phenom at that, really something to watch. But that breach leaves me wondering what the hell they are up to.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, the KJ is absolutely compensating for the lack of chamber, but I'm excited for this breach. You know, yesterday, so much success with that Yoru Fade combo. Today, we're going to get to see Smurfette and Anya potentially comboing some incredible executes. And with that fault line coming up with the funky timing, it can really punish Shopify Rebellion if they're not ready for it.
Okay, that's something to then, let's make a note of that and then check back in throughout the game, see if it really starts to hit. If you are wondering why not in the game, we're just going to wait for all the players to get ready. We don't want to rush this. This is one of the more expected games in my mind to really kind of hit home because, of course, we had Cloud9, we had G2, right? The two heavy hitters, but then there's always that bridesmaid, right? There's someone else who's always been that second spot, and this is both of them. Now, I've had the pleasure of casting both. Sadly, when I watched Shopify, Potter, it was a bit of a slaughter, right? You know, they were at the beck and call of Cloud9 at the time. They were under the heel, and we saw glimpses of hope. We saw some really good looks out of them, but it's just, how do they compare to Guild? Because Guild, in my mind, sometimes, I've got to say, play a really good game of Valorant. They play a little bit more structured, a little bit more considered, whereas you look at your G2, for example, super explosive, and I see a bit of that with Cloud9. Very explosive, high potential in the players. But for Shopify Rebellion, stylistically, what do you think about this team? What do they bring to the play? Is it that high tempo, very explosive, or is it more considered? Where do they end up on that scale in your mind?
It will be that high tempo explosion, right? And I think one of the great things for Shopify coming into this, you say always the bridesmaid, never the bride. That's a little bit of less pressure, right?
True.
And Benita having years, Lauren, of that LAN experience coming into this stage, she's going to be able to, you know, her teammates are going to be able to vibe off that, feed off of that, and being a little bit less pressure, we're going to hopefully not see the team of Shopify kind of shying away from those kinds of duels and not taking on and contesting those choke points that they need to.
And I think that's a really good way to kind of see how experience and keeping that confidence echoes into game. Those are the tangibles you see. Let's kind of talk about some of the bigger pictures though as well. When we talk about experience, when that comes into play, I think a lot of people saw that with Giuliano finally shining in those second, third maps. Not even that first series. She was quiet there, Potter. But again, that experience is what I want to see coming to the forefront. That calm nature, that ability to bring them back in. So thank you for your patience. We're ready to finally get things underway. Let's get into things with Shopify Rebellion, starting things out on the defensive side. And that then means, of course, Guild on the attack.
We can see a pretty spread out defense for all 5 members of Guild here, or rather Shopify Rebellion. 1-1-1-1 across the board, and Smurfette's already got contact. She's good for it.
Yeah, that's beautiful beginnings. Laurie just going to be put right down after that. Now, let's take a little look across the board. Where's that room being found from? But look at this default. The 2 players holding the extremities. Ness on one side, Roxy on the other. Does the patience pay dividends? Flowerful has no idea what's around the corner. And Flowerful actually wins the fight. That's unbelievable. Ness now in a similar problem. The rest of the team for Guild needs to get that side under wraps because the extremities have been won out. The map looks so small to Guild right now.
Flowerful is in a pretty power position right now. Low on HP, but because of this position, the retake should be sped up as Neon kind of rendezvous with, and Claudia's got a lot of ground here. Taking over this spawn side should mean an easier post.
I love that they've taken space somewhere because they had very little to work with otherwise on the map. Now the long play coming out from Smurfette. The haunt on the site reveals very little, shows them no one's there. And you could really set this into motion though. Maybe tee up someone like Claudia here, gonna put the haunt in, and Smurfette pulls the trigger. It's perfect. Dives on in, and it's a little messy, but Anya's still alive. 1v2, and she's dealt with. KP, solid as a rock. Huge impact round 1.
And I love the 2v1, both Shopify members swinging together, power in numbers, and just overwhelming the one member of Guild left in that post plant. And that was kind of the storyline of this pistol, right? We saw and mentioned Shopify being very spread out, 1-1-1-1-1 across the board, but in that mid round, they all gathered together and power in numbers overwhelmed Guild. And that execute from Guild, it was looking pretty, but that retake from Shopify was just a little bit better.
And it looks like we've got a force coming in as well. I guess close enough. You had the plant, you know, a little bit messy on the first, so no one getting the huge economy bonus, but Guild willing to buy back in. Spectres coming out. You're going to have the light armor as well, a little bit of utility to supplement. And it looks like a Sheriff as well for Roxy. So have to keep our mind towards how this goes. Do they keep that aggression on those extremities? Do they continue to fight for the space? Guild looking a little more all-in to an extent, leaving Roxy to her own devices. But beyond that, it's going to be towards the side. Smurfette maybe trying to bait in a little bit of attention, but no commitment.
Yeah, just trying to apply a lot of pressure, and hopefully somebody comes pushing, gets a little overzealous into Roxy's crosshair, as you mentioned, holding the extremities there. But Guild, they're just going to slow things down once again. I do like this force spike coming into things, right? You've got the plant down. You've got a little bit of extra credit to work with. So you just want to stop that momentum before it even begins. Benita, going to get pushed off the angle.
And Smurfette was a little ahead. Divided though, Laurie gonna at least find her, but the trade comes out quickly. Now you can see the site starting to become under control. Benita gets pushed away from Pit, and you can see them being held just slightly further away. So it does allow for a bomb, but no clear towards CT. Benita with a quick pick towards one, but the trade, again, quickly in place. Now bear in mind, Roxy's position has now been noted. That flank coming through Art, overwhelmed towards Pit. They are dwindling in numbers. There are problems now for Guild. This post plant ain't looking so hot. And how much can Roxy do here? This is not looking ideal. They don't get it to hold. And that's a shot. Needs more of that though. Yes, more Roxy! Unbelievable, and now just one! And that's the Roxy we've been waiting to see. The Red Bull clutch comes out. That's the firepower.
And it's the Killjoy to seal the deal and close things off. Love the Molly as well to pull it out. Make sure that that full diffuse doesn't come through. Utilizing that kit to the best of her ability. And man, she's able to convert. What a ridiculous shot. That second flick onto the chamber. Insane crosshair placement there.
I hope we get to see that again. Yeah, you see, like, had just taken that chamber out. You know, KP at that point, you're just sweating. You just got to make that push, got to do something. That's big for Roxy, though. You want a player like that to feel confident early. Feel like they've got that hot hand in the game, that they can kind of play that style that we know they can. They are one of the players mechanically that's really stood out in EMEA, someone who's very much been of note. Now, at one apiece, that force buy has paid dividends. You've got the rifles coming out. A couple of Bulldogs, sure, but on the other side, I'm seeing a Frenzy, a Sheriff, no light armor, so a very light purchase behind it. And nothing crazy, maybe just a bit of a B lean, I guess. They're kind of leaving the A side wide open. They've gone for a gamble, and it doesn't work out.
Yeah, gotta respect the risk, though, and Guild, they've figured things out. Look at this hunting party. It's a wolf pack right now, Lauren. 3 members of Guild, they do not want to just sit back and allow any sort of a fast retake to happen. So they're going hunting.
Yeah, and this is Laurie's life on the line. It's a platform on the way, and that's a whole lot of players waiting. And the fact that they slipped so deep towards CT, they can hold these deeper angles, make it so much harder to work back in. The high and low hold works well. It's cost them a rifle so far that can be filtered back through.
Yeah, and you know, while we're kind of waiting for this round to die down here, Sonder and KB, they've got a lot to work with. But I want to talk about this breach from Anya.
Talk to me.
You know, the round right before in the pistol, we saw that drill, that piece of utility coming out from Anya, and it completely forced Benita to change her entire position there. And it really just freely cleared up the site. So I think this breach from Anya, whatever prep that they have ready, it's going to make defending the sites for Shopify so damn difficult.
Yeah, and I do wonder when... I don't think it's timeout time yet. Maybe if you're one of the coaches who'll hit that panic button early, maybe just to get a grip on the playing against the breach or whatever, but I don't think it's time just yet for that timeout. I think you can still get that gun round underway potentially, play it out, see how it feels to kind of deal with that. Is there more looks coming out here from Guild? Because it's a bit of a misread, right? If you looked at their stats purely and didn't look at the context, you go, okay, it's not a great looking result here on Pearl, but then the losses are to G2, right? And we saw what G2 can do on this map when you have, you know, Giuliano just pop it off running through people on the Reyna. Like, that makes sense. So then you boil it into context. So let's now focus on this gun round, though. This is the big opportunity for Shopify Rebellion to hold them back. Flowerful forced away. And already space taken here by Smurfette.
Shopify using that chamber kit, unable to come away with any sort of advantage, but she's lucky to be alive, repositions herself and holds an off angle. This is a pretty slow round, but this should be a pounce. The spike is still down though, so I think they're just trying to trade some utility here.
Taking over mid as well might be a problem. Trap gets dealt with, so they know there's going to be pressure coming this way, but it's only 2 players. Smurfette does get isolated. Zonda, great position, great hold. Finally found, though. Anya makes it towards the side, but look towards the other players. Finally hitting that rotate button, finally coming over, but the spike.
Yeah.
A little bit of a fumble here, potentially. This is when we're seeing those nerves, those land jitters coming out. They made a bit of a meal of this one, and bear in mind, the worst comes to us, Benita finds it. That could be a tragedy.
Exactly. Both members and Roxy and Anya coming back to try to gather, but right here, Benny.
Does she check?
Oh, she does. But you know what? She's playing
got the
discipline.
question in
It
it,
doesn't
right?
matter. Yeah. Oh, what a shot!
As if Anya is that on the money for it. Benita gets punished now. Suddenly the map's unlocked, but Claudia coming back around. They're being very meticulous in this, just in case someone had push, which they just found. So now, Spike recovered. What do they do? 20 seconds. You got to make a run for it. You can't really stop. Ult ready for Anya, though. That could facilitate whatever they need, as long as they get to the site unscathed. 10 seconds now. There's that ult. It comes through, committed just towards site. Might have caught one towards CT, and you're going to see the Nightfall come back in on the outside. Laurie has to line up. Claudia beheads KP, but now looking towards the back side. Claudia sends it right back. Plants in, times on their side. 2v2, overwhelmed in pit. Roxy goes down, now it's Claudia. 1v2. The classic herself gets overrun. Laurie's there, and a fumble in the mid round. That spike being left where it was didn't help things.
That hurts. That's tough. If you're Guild, though, you know, you got to stay focused, and, you know, things happen, and it's an easy shake-off. The good news for Guild is they were able to get into that site. You know, at first I thought they were just trying to gather and trade some utility, but hey, if it's going to be that easy to get that close to the site and be able to just freely exec, then you do it again if you're Guild.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very good point, and they can still fashion a purchase here too. Looking at the ults coming up. Smurfette's still got theirs, Roxy's got theirs. I mean, yes, Anya invested them, and so did Claudia in that round, but same could be said for KP on the other side. But the ult cycle's starting to hit a little more concise with Shopify Rebellion outside of KP, so that's going to be something to keep in the forefront here. Flash and site taken, and I think you're absolutely right, Potter. I think they are reading a little out of your pages, and on the money. It was not a free site, but it was certainly very accessible, and they've once again pressure pointed this. But it's not the only plan in mind. They've applied all that pressure, drawn all that mind, but they're looking towards A.
Yeah, and this cut and noise, the paranoia is starting to creep in for Shopify, but Benny staying super disciplined, and she has no other choice, right? With just a judge on her back, she wants to take these close range angles. This timing with this judge is going to be everything. Judges are so deadly around the corner, but the KJ ult. Oh no, Benita.
Benny, what you do? Wants to go on it. This could be the right choice. This could be the only choice she has. That's 2 more seconds to try and make something out of it. Can't escape here. Just has to stand and face the music. The execution squad was there, but Zonda and Koa making their way around through our quick rotation through middle. But the overwhelm again on the side, you've got to say it. Guild, they're working it out. Yes, the ults are being invested. Yes, the lockdown came in. But for now, all good. Plant comes in. Roxy will lose life for it, but they are in the post plant, and they have the numbers with Smurfette winning the fight towards the back of the site, and now just Laurie left alive. Yes, a little bit of chip damage on Anya. Yes, a little on Smurfette, but Ness still sitting pretty, and the vulnerable gonna buy a couple more precious seconds. And time being fought for and won. Lovely work from Guild there in the end. Comfortable on these side takes.
Comfortable indeed, and what an entry coming out for Smurfette. Just gliding across the screen and just losing a member that fast, that early onto the chamber without having the chamber be able to TP away really puts you in a pickle. Beautiful start for Guild, and they've really been controlling the pace thus far in this early on in this first half.
Yeah, I haven't seen them hit many of the barriers, any issues really starting to show. If you're looking at what you want really on the attacking side, they've been winning the fights, they've been getting access to the sites pretty comfortably, the post plants, sometimes a little bit problematic, but nothing too much to write home about, and now they've broken the money. So this should be 4-2. This is when it can potentially swell against the other side, and Shopify Rebellion could be in a problem. We'll see what sort of damage they can achieve here though. Proactive throughout the map. And Guild going back to this B piece now.
This utility. Every corner is being checked. Something is being thrown. Smurfette, she sees the eco, she smells them.
I guess the ult did come out. That was Flowerful popping that, but didn't get the shot that was maybe available for a split second. So goes back for a check.
Oh!
And just off. Spike now down. Gonna need some of these sheriffs to do some damage pretty quick. Still a little bit of utility on Sondra as well, so they may be able to pressure one of these positions. And off the back of the Prowler, away we go indeed. Smurfette caught sleeping, goes down quick trade. Laurie picks up Claudia. What a shot from Laurie. There's still danger here for sure. Roxy and Ness suddenly on red alert. No! What a shot! Snaps around and backhands Roxy in the 1v1. Ness is sitting on 100 HP though. Oh my god! Laurie, what is that? What in God's name is that?
Okay, well, maybe Laurie should just stick with the share for a couple more rounds.
Yeah, sure.
See if she can replicate that a little bit, perhaps.
Run it back for me one time. I want to see this again. Run it back for me, please. Thank you, because again, this is all looking good, right? You got Smurfette diving in, you got side control. You're like, I already got shares. Oh wait, okay, that's fine. Oh, that's quite nice. And then it starts getting terrifying at the entirety of the rest of the first two. You can. Oh,
yeah,
talk away, but feeling that, yeah, for sure.
That's gotta hurt for Guild as well, because, you know, we talked about the fact that how much utility did they layer into that hit, right?
Yes.
They cleared every corner, but they didn't account for all those one sheriffs coming through.
I mean, yeah. Oh,
look at the money now.
Loving it as well on the cam, surely knowing that that's given them a lifeline. Because that round looked like it could be the one that sent them on that downward spiral, being in the back pocket for a while in the economy, but now the ult's looking quite nice. Benita's got theirs, Laurie's got theirs. You've got a couple off cycle though, Sonda and Flowerful, but you'll take that for the round you just converted. And a mid look here from Guild, exploring, going through. The Prowler should give away plenty of the game, and Sonda makes magic of it already, finding Smurfette. Quick trade though. It's not done just yet. Sonda's in a whole lot of trouble. 40 HP, but still standing their ground and somehow still alive.
She does get taken out though. Guild really needed to force the issue and make sure that they get that trade. They're good for it. And right now, Guild, they absolutely need this round. They've invested everything into it.
Oh, the high flash. Lovely flash from Laurie there.
2 members stuck.
Ooh, and Benny makes a meal of it. Roxy still standing, holds the rotation. No support on the way, so it's on Flowerful. A 1v3 needed. 2 in front, 1 to the side. And 34 seconds. Operator is in hand.
Teleport's ready.
There is a chance at this, but the temptation to save surely there as well. A key piece in the weaponry for Shopify Rebellion. And I think noting that that's not looking on the card. So going to be a save here from Flowerful. See if you can keep that. I doubt there's going to be too much of a chase coming out from Guild, considering their money is certainly far from stable.
Yeah, and a really good look for Guild, being able to stay together like that. There was no point where one of their teammates were fighting and the second didn't show up. But for the Shopify side of things, a little bit discombobulated it felt. It felt like they put themselves in that pickle rather than it was Guild that put them there, right? So it was a bit weird, maybe choosing the wrong duel, maybe choosing the wrong timing, but Guild able to secure, and this is great for these ladies. They're going to be able to actually put up some bank in their pockets.
Yeah, keeping 3 standing is pretty essential going on. A couple of recovered rifles as well, really going to complement that, supplement what they've been working with. So that's 4 for Guild now. I'll be happy with that. And Shopify Rebellion, again, going to have to be a reminder. Keep in mind they did get that additional, that 3rd round off the back of purely Laurie's just magic coming through. And this was the real problem starting to begin there. Losing out in middle like this, and Benita having a tough time on that frag as well. So a couple of awkward exchanges, and once again, the money in question here for Shopify. Back down to tatters.
Yeah, some tough decisions being made. They decide to just go for a little bit of a quasi-buy. Laurie had some money left over, a hero Vandal coming out to play. And these kinds of rounds can get pretty deadly. We've got 2 ultimates, as you mentioned, on the side of Shopify. If they're able to find some sort of early opening, some sort of pick, they will be able to invest a little bit more into this round to try to secure it.
Well, they're trying to bait that operator in towards middle, but it's just not what they're going for. It's that all-in piece towards B, and the ults are invested. Yes, the nade going to deny the comfortable plant for now as well, but they can eventually look towards that if they want to plant for it. And they have everything they need. This would need to be mayhem for Shopify Rebellion to make some damage happen. Benita looking for that chance. 2 players dedicated this time there. Finally, the plant going to come through. Everyone pulled to attention, and 2 players noted in the post plant already.
Power positions. We've seen Laurie absolutely shining in these moments. She's got a Vandal in her hands now. Expect her to really use Saunders' contact. Oh, but she gets just clotheslined.
Oh, the flash is really good, though. Can at least give step towards the side. Saunders gone down, but there's the fight! And it's Benny this time with the Sheriff coming through. Laurie's there with 2. And now it's down to Benny up against Ness. Astra v Astra. Who's got this one in the back? And the tap on the spike and is testing every skill of Ness to not lose composure. The drop of the walls coming in pretty soon. And there it is. Ness keeps the cool. The red Red Bull clutch coming in just in the nick of time, and Guild keep the score moving in their favor.
What a post, what a post. And once again, Shopify doing their damnedest to be able to replicate that incredible retake, some insane shots coming through, but this time, Guild are able to hold strong, really utilizing that Astral Wall, bobbing and weaving back and forth inside of things, and really making that post plant a little bit easier for themselves.
That post plant terrified me though. Like I'm seeing Benny just like popping off now. That's 2 quick kills. Laurie's having a game. Let's also note that Laurie's already seen on 13-6. Solid performance, maybe just propelling themselves forward. It looks like an aggressive start here. Smurfette no longer able to dive on him, but forced to respect the utility, denying it, and there's 2 players very present on this side. You've got Laurie over here. You're going to have, I think, Benny pulled to attention, and Smurfette wants in, and they've peeled away from this.
Yeah, a cancel's going to come through. A little bit unfortunate for Guild. You saw Smurfette really communicating across to her teammates. Claudia beelined it back over there to send a Prowler. She heard those sound cues. She knew that they were stuck in that gravital well, but unfortunately not able to punish. Shopify Rebellion able to breathe a little bit longer, so that's great for them.
It feels mirrored, right? You're looking at the adjustments already. Roxy initially posted up to kind of catch any mid-pressure. She backed away, but the turret did the job. Now you're seeing them readdress middle. They've taken that space right back in. That trade out of map control coming to the forefront. Smurfette can start taking the space here. Already good rotation, good positioning coming out from Benny. You're going to see Sonder as well towards the bottom of middle. So this should be a huge challenge. This isn't comfortable yet. Now Ness in danger. Decayed but still sharp as anything. KP dead. And now Benita on the hunt. Benita's got to get there fast. Laurie's in so much danger, overwhelmed. And Benny's dead. They've won every single fight.
And Sonder gets taken out as well. And once again, it's just down to Flowerful left wondering, do I save? Do I go for damage? And instead, she just gets taken out. That's a flawless coming through here for the side of Guild on a healthy purchase round. And man, that is a little bit unfortunate. I gotta say, Benita, that experienced LAN player, you know, I respect it. Yeah. She took her knife out and she started running.
She knew what she had to do.
Exactly. She wanted to make that fast flank happen. She expected, hopefully, they don't hear me. We are on LAN. There's cheering going on. You know, and these are the kinds of plays that you start to make as an experienced LAN player, but she gets completely punished. I mean, Roxy was completely awares.
Yeah, the priming game floor, she saw it in that round, just to wrap it up. And here's the timeout for Shopify Rebellion. Robbie Wiz, the Canadian sensation, thinking it's time to have a talk, and I don't blame you. Starting to hit a couple of problems here. The site's looking available. Guild haven't looked like they've been struggling getting onto the sites. I think that's one thing we noted early, especially I think it was that B-long piece they came out with. Even when they left the spike, it still looked like they won the fight that was essential. A lot of the kind of closer rounds are coming into the post plants. They are getting scrappy, they are getting close. If they can maybe do a little damage prior to these plants coming in, slow down the roll a little, I'd like to see what they can achieve, but where do you see that difference being made? Is there options here for Shopify Rebellion you want to see them explore, or do they not quite have that worked out yet?
I don't. It's a little bit worrisome, I gotta say. You know, if I think back all the rounds they were able to convert, it was back on the back of heroics, right?
Yes,
some one sheriffs coming out, incredible multi-kills. Guild have completely controlled the pace of this entire first half thus far, and Shopify's gotta bring the fight to them earlier than Guild are expecting.
It's hard to pick yourself up like this, right? And just keep being assertive, keep being aggressive, keep finding that space, especially when you're looking at the 2 ults that just sat in the pocket as well. Anya's got theirs, and so does Roxy. So these are 2 potentially round-changing ults they can invest. Early Prowler, early Haunt, gonna come down. And that's going to be noting potentially 2 players. I'm pretty sure they're going to find KP and Flowerful if they do continue this way. But substantially larger stack, and Claudia really noting where these players are.
Catch them.
Doesn't seem like Guild want... expending and investing the ultimate.
Yep, this doesn't isolate the player who's tucked into the cub. Even maybe they feel they can overwhelm that on themselves, and so far so good. KP barely doing the damage, and this is just so impactful for standing still for Guild in the post plant, still have the mid control. They've got so much of the map just completely wrapped up. Benny's position now considered. This is the beauty, I guess, of having that KJ. The flanks just aren't as viable right now. Forced off the angle. Flowerful not finding much room either, trying to maybe pinch towards this. They evacuated the site pretty much. Gonna need a lot more of those, Flowerful. That was a nice try. Not to be. Guild 7-3 now. Starting to come into their own here.
Yeah, and I like how Guild approached this anti-eco, right? You mentioned the fact that the Killjoy, the power in that utility, and it was Ness and Roxy in tandem, kind of just making sure no sorts of shenanigans can happen. Every player has those extremities covered. And the 3-pack in Guild with this breach fault line, Smurfette is having fun. Claudia, all of her utility is landing.
Yeah,
that
perfect.
breach is able to just allow that to happen.
It's lovely to watch, actually, considering this was such an agent change. If you run your mind back to when we saw this being played between, I don't know, Guild and G2, for example, totally different look, and this really seems to suit. They've really refined it, and that's a refined shot from Flowerful. This time, Smurfette goes down, and we've seen that exchange going the other way consistently. So first blood drawn here for Shopify Rebellion.
That's exactly what they needed. Claudia's not going to slow down, though. She wants to be able to get that trade for her mate. The site is clear. The spike should be able to go down. And the rest of Shopify, they're trying to make it to this site as soon as possible.
They're pushing this, and I like that. They want so much space here.
What a
Lori
shot!
denies all of it, takes it right back in to the Shopify Rebellion side. And now the flank's on the way, and this is going to put that pressure right back to them. Ness, Anya, how much can you do with this? Anya now turns to it. The reload could not have been at a worse time. And now there's so many threats coming towards you. Surely you are dead. You are done for. Ness, so many problems. That's a different look from Shopify Rebellion. Way better start.
Yeah, quick reaction coming out for Shopify. As soon as that contact happened, Flowerful giving those communications over to her squad, and you saw Benita making that fast flank. This time, the flank pays off hugely. I mean, the timing, though, for Anya, that is unfortunate. Right as she decides, you know what, okay, let me reload. Oh, no, never mind, I'm stunned, I'm dead. Unlucky for her, but Lori, this multi-kill in mid was so pivotal for this round win for Shopify.
Yeah, it looks like Guild are so happy to take deeper kind of post-plant, I guess, positions, right? They'll fight for errors, they'll slip deeper towards Secret, they'll push up towards kind of Link, I guess. They're happy to take a slightly riskier bit of territory, bit of real estate. That time we finally saw Lori in the right position for it. There was another player there as well who did eventually trade down, but it was a perfect counter to what Guild have been doing. So let's see if they can maybe replicate this again, because similar scenes, right back to business. But look at it this time. There's no one here.
Yeah, not a single defender in sight. I love just re-hitting it right back again. Some great reads coming out here for Claudia and Guild side of things. It's a free site. Pretty soon, Guild, they're going to be able to sniff this out, and that Killjoy ultimate should be able to secure the deal.
That's telling.
They don't have anything to break it.
Nope, gotta respect it, but they know all the players are here, so this should encourage the flank. Maybe not noting 5, maybe only 4, so they should be noting there is a player watching the flank, and there it is. Roxy goes down. Flank now open, they are surrounded. This is great from Shopify Rebellion. The double stack again towards Link. Perfect position that paid dividends last time. That was Lori succeeding. Now the flank though, Ness this time, all but aware. Flowerful finds impact too, and the shot's good. Ness holding it down. Success for both sides on either side of the map. Bananya wants in, and it gets in! Oh my word, and KP stops it. There's still a chance. And that chance might be ripped away as Claudia denies it. 4-8, and a scrappy way to close out this first half.
Scrappy indeed. I gotta respect Anya's play there. What a beast. Absolutely just W-king it and says, I'm gonna run and gun this. I wish she was able to treat herself with that second, but what an absolute half. Guild, we talked about it in the cast. It seems like their game plan is working beautifully. This breach in this composition is really allowing the freedom for Smurfette to get these entries for the Guild side.
Yeah, so far so good for Guild, leading the scoreline at an 8-4, but Shopify Rebellion showing signs of life. Let's go back to the desk.
Thank you so much for that, and just an amazing start for Guild, honestly. Yeah. You know, it was very clear, right, when we saw the breach pick come in, we weren't too sure, but it is working out for them in spades. They're really activating their Neon to be able to do what she needs to do.
They're being 100% responsive to what Shopify is doing on their server. The moment that they take a little bit of aggression, they're just shutting it down, and they start burning utility like there's no tomorrow. It doesn't mean if they're rechargeable or not. But wait up, because I think that they were very nervous, especially at the beginning. We can see in some of the plays many 5-woman pushes that we've seen from Guild. If we actually take a look at this round, we've seen kind of a couple of this, and I wanted to take a look at what Lori is able to do here, because all of those mistakes of overheating, hey, we got this, we got to keep going, keep pushing, can be shut down with an amazing play like this when you only need a sheriff. So watch out for what's coming, because you need to keep your head in the game.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But the problem is that you're relying on God-tier plays from Lori, who's having one heck of a game, Athena.
Yeah, I mean, with this comp that they have, like Shopify going forward, really have to realize that they have to break through Guild's defensive comp. I mean, they have that Killjoy, they have that Breach, they have enough stopping power from executes, so the only way they can really kind of get in there is try to abuse this Killjoy, breaking her utility or finding where she's playing at and using a knife to kind of suppress her and suppress all her stuff. But the biggest problem is if Roxy ends up adapting and is just playing wherever she wants to play every single round, just switching it up, Shopify is going to have kind of a hard time to kind of figure out which side to hit.
Yeah, especially knowing that you have that Killjoy, that you can use that early utility. They're not going to have that chance of doing that 5-woman pushes that Guild was doing so beautifully. Every single time they were waiting for a response on the side of Shopify, but they were always looking at their back. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think that Shopify, not everything's lost. 4-8 is completely able for a comeback.
Yeah, you know, it's not over yet, but Guild is looking solid so far. Let's send it back over to Pansy and Potter for the call.
And I think you're absolutely right. The desk saying that it's not over yet. These 4 rounds, there were some really good signs of life. Yes, I will say there was the pistol in there that got converted then by the bonus going the other way, and a couple of other issues, but we focus on the here and the now. We go back into things. Guild getting so hyper-aggressive here. Smurfette needs to respect this in the end and fall away, but so much of the map has been considered and noted now.
Yeah, they just completely bullied Shopify off of that entire area of the map. They're beelining it towards this A site, but the sound cues. I mean, Anya, she's hearing all of this. The communication should be coming through for the squad of Guild. And you can see that the 2 members of Shopify, they're kind of getting back a little bit. They don't want to mess with this area of the map too long.
Yeah, it might be worth just kind of resetting how the game's looking for now. They need to just kind of calm down, take a little bit of space somewhere, because again, look at this roaming pack. Smurfette and Claudia backfilling this area. They now know, okay, they haven't gone link. They're still probably setting towards either mid, maybe pressuring towards Arc, could be looking towards A main. Maybe a misread here because of the information they found and the timing that they found it.
Yeah, exactly. And this is such an intelligent call coming out here for Shopify. They're just re-clearing the area of the map that they lost. And look at this, Lauren. B site completely clear.
Oh, it's on a platter. You couldn't ask for anything better. Even still approaching it like there could be players here, but they've almost won beyond their means. They didn't expect to have this much easy access. I can't blame Guild for it, but the timing just on the side of Shopify for that one. Now we look at the retake. The site under pressure. This is now a problem. Some of these post plants are sitting super deep. Smurfette won that. It could have been a problem, and now it is. It's a huge trade. Effective towards Guild. Now look at these post plants. Benny, that's a nasty little shot. Now Flowerful en route as well, timing everything. And Flowerful's got it. Got 2 as well, and that's one to get that to halfway, but may not have the capability to do so. And now it's all down to 1, and the spam comes through. Oh, she's got it! Flowerful denies Ness on the defuse.
It's half.
So Claudia,
it's
half. Flowerful goes back in. The red ball clutch. Flowerful, I was worried about that position, Potter. She felt like she was a mile away for some of that post plant, but the timing up link was perfect.
You kind of felt it, right? I mean, as Benita's just kind of clicking away with that classic long range as hell.
I'm like,
but it's accurate. It's accurate. That was a 2v4 post plant that Shopify are able to convert. That flank from Flowerful was everything. She's good for the shot, and she's able to convert. My goodness, Guild, that's going to burn. They had everything they needed to make that retake happen.
That was so good. Beautiful work. Now, yeah, this shakes things up, and they are definitely not in the same sort of force buy here. We got Frenzy, Sheriffs, Ghosts, very little in comparison. You're going to have the Bulldogs out, a couple of Spectres, got everything they kind of need. A little bit light on some utility, but that's perfectly fine. Let's look at what they go for. It looks, you know, simple, sweet. They're not going to overfluff the lines. They're going to keep it clean, or at least that's the name of the game. So they're going to get contact towards CT. But there's a couple of players here, and that's a little bit tricky on the timing. Trying to get the flash out there, gets overwhelmed, gets swamped. We're now starting to get a little nervous about this, and there it is. Flowerful, keeping it safe, but I got a little nervous about that. Kind of
yeah, you know what? If you're Shopify, you're satisfied. You know, you're telling each other, hey, I did 70 damage. How much did you do? Okay, we did enough, guys. We did enough. You're pretty satisfied about that one. A somewhat healthy purchase, 2 Bulldogs, and okay, so they're going for a half. They don't want to fully invest into this.
Nah, they're riding the bonus here.
Okay.
So, okay. I almost would have liked to see me invest a little bit more into the bonus just because of the score. I'm a little bit worried that if it does start going Guild's way, that's just, you know, it just instantly takes away from them. But we'll find out. We'll see if they're still in mind. Maybe they've got a consistent plan. You're going to check for Smurfette, right? You're going to check for Smurfette.
No.
Oh, no. And that was the tip of the spear, right? And now you just got a stick. I mean, what are you meant to do? You've got the two Bulldogs. At least they recover the Spectre. I guess that's something, but where are you going to take this now?
Yeah, a lot to do with that. Benny gets a little bit of contact. She's going to be able to push Claudia off slightly. A lot of mind games coming across right now. Benita's just been in this area of the map, and right now she's just applying a little bit. Oh, what a shot. Just completely peeking off that turret contact. Beautifully played, utilizing this KJ kit.
There's a reason we refer to Roxy as one of the specialists on that. Harmful. The shots aren't on, but absolutely not the case apparently. And KP and Benita, last two here. KP doing some fair damage.
Claudia is still on her own right now. She's starting to feel a little bit nervous. She feels like she's got to push.
Benita against Claudia,
oh,
Benita's
boy.
patience pays off. You saw Claudia getting tempted to find that information. Maybe a little unnecessarily so. Could have sat a little deeper, been a little bit more patient, but gets punished by the old teammate. Benita, that's going to feel good as well. You've given yourselves a chance back into this round now. Kwan comes in, not dissuaded. And the over push from Roxy again, trying to get back into things. Benita, though, denies it. Benny having a round. And now Ness, the only one alive and breathing. KP a little wounded on the site, though. Could they be isolated? Decay about to tick away. And Benny's on pretty much around the world, right? This is it. Ness is not going to find this frag. Benny playing the timing like a god. This is perfect. It makes you impossible to find. And as long as KP stays alive on the site, it's everything you dreamed of. No opportunities for Ness here. This has been a masterclass between KP and Benita.
Wow. What an incredible round. And she started it and she ends up finishing it. Even that readjustment, you mentioned it, Lauren, just leaving the area of the map that she was in. She's got that suck to be able to secure the clutch if anything hits the fan. And man, the pressure she even applied to Claudia to make her come out of her defensive zone, that completely shifted the pace of this round.
Yeah, beautiful from KP, that. Really nicely done.
Double kill with the Spectre. And
I've seen a few of those now coming in. They're starting to look, hey, look, the Spectre's kind of OP. Look, I'm just saying it. But at 7-8, and this was a bonus for Shopify Rebellion. And that was cheap too. And they've got recovered rifles now coming in. They got loads of what they need. Ult Cycle, you know, KP invested theirs. Laurie's still a little far away, but Sonda not far off. And neither is Flowerful. Two very impactful ultimates to bring out. Similar scenes on the other side, very close to that first cycle starting to hit.
Some huge ROIs coming through. And this, this double with the double marshals, hey? That smoke. Well, beautiful.
Laurie just with the hit and run. Finds Smurfette. Ness has been seen, but we got to play the life for now. Maybe feeling a little too much of that pressure and deciding, hey, look, we've got Benita in a forward position. Let's lean back. Let's re-explore this map. We don't need to go into a potential stack here.
And Benita still towards this A extremity. She's the one that communicated to her squad to come back over towards her. And this mid-rounding so far on the attack side for Shopify has been splendid. I mean, they've been able to find the sites that have had the less amount of defenders every time. So the defaulting working quite well, and this should be an easy entry. Better weaponry, of course.
Yeah, they should overwhelm in the end.
Ooh, good utility.
Issues, but they're trying to make it happen. A lovely little combination here. Roxy now next on the chopping block. Out does Benita. That's a rifle now lost. Quick trade for Laurie. Trying to police those weapons. Don't let them fall into the hands of anyone. Claudia still looking for a chance here. KP to the left. Laurie on the site. Still main. Not going to happen. KP. Solid hands there. Safe play. And we're tied up at 8 apiece.
Yeah, things are all tied up. Man, I just keep thinking about that pistol ever since that win. It seems like Shopify have just been on a high. They are riding that momentum. Guild, it might not be a bad idea pretty soon here for a pause. Probably after this one round, one more gun healthy purchase. But Guild, they've got to stop the bleeding here. But Shopify, they are running and they are not slowing down.
Yeah, the confidence really starting to show, and that's the scary thing, right? It's that they start believing in it themselves. They start taking a couple of those fights so they are winning out, and they've had all the answers for now. Everything looking on the money. Perfect. Not asked for a better outcome. Guild looking unable to make the moves they want to, unable to get that early information. Yes, pressure noted towards A main, but nothing beyond that. That's just Flowerful now left, posted up. The rest maybe re-exploring towards middle here.
And I really like the start of the round here for Shopify. They've come in numbers and they've inserted Flowerful in this position. Time and time again, we've seen Claudia re-clearing. So expect Flowerful to be there, ready to punish, while the rest of Shopify come and start inching forward in this art area.
Set up here from Roxy, though. At least we'll give away the commitment. And Roxy, caught by the spam. Sonda gets the freest shot. Happy with that to walk away with, and now looking back towards A main. Look at this re-rotation. The knife comes out. And they're rejoining towards Flowerful. This is just beautiful to watch. They are just determining the pace perfectly. No one on the site. They all adjusted to try and deal with that mid-presence, and now they've given up the rest of the map here already. Sonda pushed up, ready for all of this, and it's a massacre towards Art. Claudia finally falls to Benita again. She's got her number this game. And Ness, you want to keep that up, you got to get out of there. This is so well drilled from Shopify.
It absolutely is. They are completely controlling the entirety of mid area. Time and time again, we've been seeing Shopify just seesawing across the map, right? They're going across, either taking that A main extremity or getting the trades towards this long B. And then in the mid round, they regroup and they go wherever Benita tells them to go. It seems like Benita's on this lurk has been finding so much ground and so much information. It's just completely shifting the mid round here.
And again, you've been on a team with both of these players, right? You've played with Claudia, you played with Benita. I'd say Benita was probably the longer standing teammate, right? So one that you've got to know, but seeing this kind of mid-routing capability, calling these audibles, really kind of finding that space. Is this something you've known her to be able to do in the past as well?
Absolutely. I mean, she's always been that player who loves to be the lurk, right? And this role is completely fitting her perfectly. KP as well, she's always mentioned how much she loves to just change and shift the direction of the round. She's always got that read, intelligent, high IQ in the game. So definitely on the attack so far, the power in KP and Benita together, it's absolutely paying off. And this timeout couldn't have come at a better time for Guild. We were talking about it. They had such a strong start in the beginning, the use of the breach coming through. I want to see a little bit more of that, right? I mean, on the defense, you can start to make a little bit more forward aggressive plays, be a little bit more proactive, start getting Anya a little bit more involved earlier on in these rounds.
And I think that's something that I'm surprised we didn't see already until this point. We're seeing a little bit more proactive play, taking some of that map space away from Shopify Rebellion, who's been pulling these rotations really nicely. I mean, we saw that before. We've seen them kind of posting up Flowerful and then kind of readdressing middle, taking that space, causing the rotations from the A side, B side, pulling them through, and then re-executing towards A when absolutely no one's there, leading that lurk towards middle. So a really nice kind of like pendulum action throughout the map. So hopefully for Guild, they could identify this and, as you know, maybe take a little bit of that space for themselves with some commitment behind it. They have a buy to work with here. Is it ideal? No, you're still going to see Smurfette, just the rifle, no armor. You've got, I guess the operator did get saved, but it's not pretty.
It's not, and it's curious because Smurfette has her ult as well. I hope that she sells that rifle and just uses the ult with some full armor. Perhaps Anya's got the ultimate as well. We can really see some interesting, aggressive plays coming out here for Guild in this round.
And this then puts the ball back into Shopify Rebellion's court, though. Coming off the back of a timeout, you can do something very straightforward or something completely different. And it looks relatively straightforward here. Deciding to opt for just kind of the straight towards side, pop the O, you've got KO's ult there to really give you safe passage to ferry that spike on in. And, well, nothing really can deny it. Late lurk going to be there for Benita as well, so that's still going to be very much something to remember and remind yourself, because here comes Benny, and is the timing just right? Hearing these steps floating. Players and finds one, catching Claudia again. This battle is going to rage on the entire time between the old teammates. Now feeling probably a little sour about it all. The KJ ult will come in, so this will force them away from the site, and maybe we could see Anya have that utility impact.
Yeah, and right after Guild are able to take over the site, they've even got the Breach ultimate layered right afterwards. So as they tap, expect the Breach ult to come through.
You're waiting to see it. There it is, going to come on in, and, well, we're going to see the
ult. Oh, no! She didn't get half.
Wait, no way. Oh, my God, they did, and this is now a tragedy in the making. This would need a heroic performance coming out. I don't think they've got the time for it. Ness can do what she can. My word, this game is scrappy, and some of these ult usages are very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting indeed. Oh, man, I feel for Guild in that round. Benita is such a nail in the thorn right now, just on the side. You mentioned it, that flank, because Guild, they were completely okay with giving up that A site the whole round, right? They knew they had the ultimates to make this retake work, but that frag onto Claudia there completely stopped the retake from happening before it even begins. And this post, man, it was so hectic. So much utility using the layers, Lauren, the layers. When the time is ticking that long, or that fast rather, it gets so difficult.
Aggression! We wanted to see it,
Let's
we
go.
get it. That is exactly what we've been asking for. Taking some aggression, taking some confidence-based fights, and it works out. Now, will it always work that well? Who knows? But taking down Laurie and Sonder is certainly a wonderful reward for that sort of approach there. Now, KP, Benita, and Flower will need to kind of come together on this. You can't have as much pressure on that lurk. You can't have that same sort of presence. So Plan going to come in and they're going to sit towards Pit. Two going to post up this side, and it's been a flawless run on this half so far for Shopify Rebellion. This could be the first round to change that, but look at the weaponry, Potter. It's still not ideal.
It's not, and they've taken over the spawn area multiple times, so Guild have a pretty good idea of it. Claudia is just kind of pulling distractions, but she gets taken out. So forward is Shopify. And the flank, once again, KP swapping spots with Benita.
They still need to be a little bit careful because obviously they do not know how much time they have. And now that flank has been noted. The KJ utility came into play, so they know that it's there. Ness and Anya, can you deal with Benita? How much patience can she hold this halfway? Has to fight the fight! Gets dragged away from it, but time on the defuse. Gilda back in it, finally breaking back in on a thrifty round.
And that was off the back of Smurfette, finding those two entries, finally utilizing that Neon ultimate and that breach fault line. Look at Anya, triple-double, 11 assists. Absolutely layering those utilities to set up her teammates for success, and finally paying off. And you know, they've got to be able to string a second one together, right? Because this is the first round that Guild are able to put on the board in the second half. They've got to get a second one.
I want to see more aggression though, and that's tricky, right? That it already looks like they're trying to eye that up over towards the side of the map. So yeah, they're going to tee up, setting Smurfette in a little deeper. You can hear that utility being invested. I'm sure KP can maybe keep that as something they're going to note going forward, that there was that breach utility invested. They have seen them trying to toy with it, but Smurfette close on the angle, outdoes KP, and they've lost the back line. And that's the spike. Oh dear.
Oh dear, Roxy controlling the area, but this time Sonder doesn't just completely get annihilated in the beginning. Popping some shots back and forth.
They've got that first pick. That's the first step they had to take. They were talking about taking map control away, and that A site is being controlled completely and utterly by Smurfette. Now, the fight gets one on the other side, though. You saw it. Roxy was having a tough time there, holding towards Link. The look back towards B then kind of swings this back into the hands of Ness, who hasn't been tested on this B side too much. It has been predominantly these A hits coming in, so the adjustment's going to be on the way, but by then, probably a plant's going to be in place. I wonder if Ness can really deny too much. Probably not here. Sonder going to allow safe passage on the site. Happy with that. Clears backside, blind as she may be, but the timing on the hit, they're going ahead of the plant. They were so unaware, but the trade's still good. Laurie trying to hold the line, and Sonder put to task. Guild flipping the script a little there, going right in before the plant.
Love it. Love that from Guild, and that's the third round in a row now that we're seeing the aggression coming out. Smurfette again, finding that entry, and I love the look coming out for Ness. She doesn't want to wait. She's not going to wait to allow Shopify to set up for any sort of post. She's going to pre-take, bring her teammates in, and just completely overtake that retake. Beautiful stuff for Guild, and it's exactly what we wanted to see, that sort of aggression.
And it works, and it's good to see it being rewarded, because if you are trying to go for these more confidence-based plays, and let's say you get manhandled, let's say you get pushed aside, you don't get what you want out of it, you're going to lose that confidence. It's a quick spiral, it's a quick way to lose a game. So seeing them able to kind of convert these is a great look. And it then begs the question, okay, Shopify Rebellion, what's your next answer? This is a beautiful game of chess we get to see, and the aggression is going to be met by it. Benita on the other side gets away with daylight robbery. Two big picks, and Laurie's there to just compliment on the third. Ness going to be beckoned for some greatness and merely gets muted. Roxy, the last one alive in her position, will have been noted very early on, something that's very consistent, and KP all too aware. Quick answers back.
Man, this A main area, the contestation going on. Again, I like the look from Guild. They tried to take the fight over to Shopify before that exec ever came in, and because of Anya's kit, it allows you to do that. But Benita, so quick, just chilling in the back, tanks the fault line, swings, and gets two freebies for herself. Beautiful positioning, and Shopify, they needed this. Stop the bleeding. Don't let any sort of a comeback. I mean, they've controlled the entire second half.
Exactly, and look at the scoreline. It's still 11-10, but it was 6 in a row.
This is an incredible comeback so far from Shopify.
Well, is it real? Is it fake? We'll find out. 11 to 10. Money still in a good enough position, but Sonda turns the flash in a good spot for this. Benita's on the chopping block, but it's Sonda bailing around in a second. Sonda sends him to sleep. Claudia's gone. Betty comes out of the flashes just fine, and they have just torn them asunder. Roxy and Ness, irrelevant, it feels like, to this round so far, but the double stack's good. And maybe there's still a fight in them, maybe there's still a fire burning in the belly, but as it stands, they're just going to make a mad run towards B, get that plant, get the time on your side, and get a nice post-plant here.
Yeah, Lori leading the way. Insane contestation there at B main. Shopify completely winning that one out. And if you're Guild here, a lot of tough decisions to make. Do you save and try to get a somewhat healthy purchase into the next, or trying to look for one pick, make a decision whether this retake is actually possible or not?
Sonda called upon. Gets it. Roxy's gone. Ness now backing away, it looks like, maybe just conceding. As how much more can you really do here? 4 more players to locate, and money-wise, you could potentially go for a chase. Yeah, Benny's on it. Now, there's no subtlety to this. Ness is going to hear it, and the challenge is there. So, handled. No worries. Shopify Rebellion, though, we asked for this kind of aggressive change from Guild, which we got, but now the problem is that Shopify Rebellion are holding, not necessarily just like a standard default, but they're so ready for those choke point fights.
Yes, and that's exactly it. They're getting a good read. In the beginning of the rounds, they were able to come out on top of punishing those picks from the side of Guild, but this time Shopify Sonder, I mean, she should have been full blind there. Come on.
100%.
Come on.
100%.
But she is able to just lean into her zoomer aim. It is able. Yeah, KP, I'm confused too.
12 to 10, one away for a map 1 victory here for Shopify Rebellion, and I'd say quite a necessary one, because the map pull after this does, in my mind at least, lean towards Guild, so good for them to really come out with a strong showing here in the second half, have that confidence going forward, because the buy is shambolic from Guild. It's Spectres, lots of ults to play with, but already Ness ringing the alarm bell. There is danger here, but no, the spike. Keep that in the, not even back of your mind, the forefront of your mind. They baited out so much of this utility. That ult comes in, spots no one, they know it's all a fake. This is going to be on Roxy, who is sat there with a Marshall full utility kit in play though, so maybe still a chance of this. Roxy flashed up and has to just concede. They can't fight on this one. The ult going to come through. Do they commit off the back? They better be.
Oh, wow.
Fetch right there, dives on in, head first, pops the ult, and they've taken back the space.
But the spike, it's still on Benita's back. KP has found a little bit of ground. If she's able to find some sort of opening, cut off the middle of the map, maybe a fallback can happen, but it looks like Shopify, they still want to hold their ground here.
45 seconds, they can do it. They can pause for a second, but that's a lot of damage on Flowerful. How much room can KP find? Because keep in mind, Claudia's doing a bit of a walk around here. Did Claudia hear this? Does Claudia hear any of this in the timings? Everything. Claudia's in a really unique position in this.
30 seconds left.
Oh my god, KP just about going in between them all. They've got to be reading. They've got to know something's wrong.
Yeah, the site is completely clear. KP's made enough, but she's got to hold into this position, maybe push even more into spawn, find an equalizer.
They have 2 rifles recovered, that's about it, right? Ness has theirs, Roxy's got 1, and KP, you have a full city utility there. You could try and go for it, but trying to play this one in dry! Gets Anya down, caught in the heels, but has to back away quickly. Horn goes up, gonna buy a couple of seconds. Seas goes in towards Link, looking to slow him down. Claudia now tagged up. KP trying to go above and beyond it. DK'd, outdone. Ness takes them down. Ness follows up, and now Flowerball would have to go God mode on this. A 1v4 post-plant. Guild aren't giving up just yet, and does not give up that round. They're gonna get the rifles. They keep 4 alive, and they're gonna make it to 11.
Oh, what a round. What a round coming from both squads. There were so many layers, so much utility invested into this round, and the fake, it is just that much harder to sell any sort of a fake when you've got a Killjoy on the defending side of things, right? No matter what, Roxy had so much utility in those forward positions, so nobody bit on the side of Guild. Nobody rotated, and the fake just ended up falling flat. But the mid-round heroic moves coming through for KP and crew, that's what you love to see. Having those sort of mid-round decision makings and give yourself a different chance to win that round.
Yeah, spot on. And now we have the scenario. It's GG or it's OT. 12 to 11. Guild able to get a way better purchase this time. Others Shopify Rebellion can do the same, so we finally have that nice gun round coming in, but the ults being cycled through from both sides, clamoring onto that last round that just went past. And now Shopify Rebellion back to business. It looks like this real B piece this time. They have the other players in, but that's some spam going to catch towards Sonder. Now that's going to be a player marked as well. Not sure how many got marked, but it's enough. Ness is down. Sonder still keeping some control. Look at the damage being done by Claudia. Smurfette still taking a brawl on the side, but Laurie again finding so much value in these rounds. Roxy still has that lockdown, so I'm curious if that comes into effect. It looks like she is considering that. There it is. Benny still committing to the plant, so they are going to have some time on this side, but they do need to get the hell out of dodge.
This Killjoy ultimate will push back Shopify, but they've got the line of sight. There's not a smoke on the side of Kill to block this off. They should be able to kill the diffuser.
Hold on. Roxy's got one.
Oh my.
And now there's problems. Flowerful and Benita need to be perfect in this. They cannot make mistakes. Flowerful, who peeks first? The spray, the little tap damage, just trying to get someone to peek out, and there was Benny. Down to 9 HP, they're working them down, but the time is of the end. Roxy with a belting shot!
Oh my god!
Roxy! Heroics in the final moments here for Guild. 12-12, it's OT, we're going the distance.
Roxy just busting out a couple of one-taps to secure this post. And it was such a tough post. We talked about Guild did not have any sort of smoke to be able to secure that one, right? And man, Shopify, they had everything they needed. They had everything they needed to secure. Oh my god. Okay, Roxy.
Yeah, all right. Who needs smoke? So you just got a Roxy. Just like, there you go, hold it. That's fine.
And with that much pressure, to be able to get OT for yourself as well?
Okay.
My god.
All right, must be nice. 12-12, and Shopify Rebellion probably unhappy with that. As you noted, the lockdown, okay, it pushed them towards long, but it was still feeling like it was their round, so maybe feeling a little jilted after such a great run on that side. Now back to business. We've got Guild on the attacking side coming into it, Shopify Rebellion on the defensive side, and we once again look towards what is the approach here. Money fine this time for Guild, able to get that full buy, of course, in OT, so for now trying to bait out a little bit of contact, but no one going to be biting just yet. Oh, there it is. Claudia getting sweet vengeance in OT. Benny was just winning that fight out during regular time. Now the other side, but patience being shown. No quick hit off the back here.
Yeah, they've got Roxy, the power in Roxy to hold those flanks, so they have the luxury to be able to slow things down here. Spotting out KP. And this cut in noise, man, it gets so paranoid. It starts creeping in. You start making a mistake.
They all noted progress on the side to the timing. Laurie didn't have the gun in hand either, so Roxy's positioning could have been even more deadly. Does get dealt with in the end, but already you can see the amount of the map's been taken over. This push through A-Link is huge. They are trying to apply this pressure towards Laurie, and again, the underhand flash going to keep them alive. But for how long? Still no plant on the site in 34 seconds. KP's towards pit. This ain't over yet. They haven't won the fight on the site, and Laurie takes down Smurfette. A quick response to alleviate the pressure on the site. But Flowerful coming on back in, and it is a scramble for the plant. 20 seconds now as Laurie still standing. Has been good for it. Laurie has been so damn clutch, but this is a lot. Double stacked up. Sitting all the way back around. They're going to make Laurie work for this if she wants it. Trying to clear on through, and she's got a concept in mind. She's considering where they may be, checking the close corners, but seeing no one, spotting nothing. Laurie is praying for someone to be out of position, and a jump scare for Laurie. But the dream for Guild to get that first in OT.
NT, valiant effort there for Laurie. She didn't have very many options. That was probably her best one, but Ness, she's just so quick for it, right? It doesn't seem like very much gets past Ness.
No.
She's been good for these extremities, good for these clutches. And what a huge round to be able to convert here for Guild. Things got so dicey in this mid area. Contact across the board in so many different areas.
Crazy. And you're right about Nesso. She's like quietly top fragging for Guild. You'd be forgiven to look at Smurfette or Roxy for being the impact players, but it is actually Ness who is very much leading that pack. Now we dive right on back in because there is aggression. Smurfette, the audacity to try and go for that. Laurie is having none of it now. All right, relax a little. Shopify Rebellion trying to get a grip on this game, but there's a hunting pack. There is a hunting party over by Art, looking for a new trophy to put on the wall, and it might just be Flowerful.
The fault line, the flash coming through. Flowerful's able to TP away, but KP's all alone.
KP has the spike as well. This could be so much. Oh, so many problems. The bailout team is here, and Ness trying to do whatever they can to try and do this damage. Oh my god, the classic! And this is just scrappy and messy. Sonda finally arrives. And Roxy, where are you in this one? Paul winning that fight apparently. And this is a 1v2 that, if it was any other player,
Calling my bot.
I might call it the other way. But KP is low HP and Sonda is now on guard duty. Roxy clearing through by Flower. Looking for that first pixel out of place, but no one giving her any quarter. Checking towards pit, sees nothing again. No one making a move here, but she's got some good space. Has the turret back into play as well. Could potentially lean towards this, but decides main. That's where she wanted to look, and KP's sitting safe. Not going to check that deep, and Tommy's going to go on up. And it's just it's a guess. It's a shot in the dark. And Roxy doing the best she can with as little information as she could. But Shopify Rebellion having enough of this run back coming in from Guild.
Disciplined posts. We're seeing some discipline coming out from both squads, making sure they do not give away any inch. And my goodness, it's everything. The fact that KP was somehow able to survive in that mid area. If she goes down, this round looks completely different. And I am glad to see that even though we're switching off from Guild to the defender side, they are still going for those proactive, aggressive plays. You know, it was really slow early on in that second half for Guild, so to see them going for those plays is a good sign. Shopify, though, one step ahead just slightly in that read.
Maybe early attempts to deal with the utility. There it is. Does Smurfette get away? Yes. So, 2 plays noted early on. Decent information here, but a default being held by Guild. And see if anyone dares to summon that sort of aggression. And no one really taking that opportunity just yet.
Very spread out defense once again here for Shopify. They've been so good for it. The fault line's going to push Lori off that angle. Trading util, the Prowler's getting so much ground. And Claudia, it looks like she wants to go in deeper. The spike though, again, it's down.
And this is the rotation being pulled though. They are, you could see Sonda there maybe considering starting to hit towards that A site, but dipping back in, no commitment towards the site is pretty indicative that they are still exploring options. And
I'll find you.
Perfect start yet. Claudia deciding Link is where she wants to find that information. No one playing close. Still
coming back.
She was able to go back and pick up the spike. A very slow approach this
timing.
time around.
Oh my god, Roxy.
She's gonna keep going. Oh, Benny. Overheat. Oh, she just barely survived.
Oh my god.
They're coming for her.
Yeah, Benny, you better run. You better hide. They are charging you down. Smurfette's got her. Benny falls, and she could be the one to hold them all back. Hold back the flood. And now on the other side, Ness gets caught out. Gun quickly drawn. Finds Sonda. But there's layers to this. There's other players on this flank. There is still Flower coming this way. Finds Ness. And now Anya feeling the pressure. Good flash. Gives her the angle. Second, again, buying the time. Flower has very few places to go. And the tap on the spike, though. They don't have a player on the side directly. And there's no stopping the defuse until then. Now finally, Lori, what a shot. Oh, the human aimbot just snapping around. Does get handled by Anya. Puts Guild on 14.
The human aimbot, indeed. I could totally see a world where she just
Turns
turns around
it.
and just taps.
Yeah,
Just gets another
happens.
one tap.
Yeah, of
Why
course.
not? Why not? It is Lori after all. My goodness, these mid rounds right now. Bonita, again, I like the push. She went for information. It was quiet. She's able to get rewarded for it, but a little overzealous, right? I mean, you got what you came for. You got to be able to fall back and completely secure your area of the map, but she wanted to get that flank going. Overzealous and gets completely punished for it. Shopify lose that side out, but I love again that decisiveness coming out for Guild. As soon as they recognized that Bonita was in a weak area, they all flooded. All of them swarmed.
Yep, no second guessing whoever called it. They are just playing to that tune. And there is going to be a timeout here for Guild to talk things through coming into this half. Maybe want to get this done as best they can. Having a conversation, what to expect potentially any other looks they could lean on. And so far, it's been pretty neck and neck once we've gotten to OT.
It has. I think Guild right now are probably discussing with each other that, you know, Shopify has had a bit of those reads when they're pushing right off the barrier, right? We've seen those hunting parties coming out for Guild on the defense. So this time around, they're spread out from the get-go, 1-1-1-1. I think they're going to try to play it a little bit standard.
Okay. You know, nothing wrong with...
Nothing wrong with standard.
No, sometimes vanilla's fine. You know? obviously chocolate chip mint sometimes also fine. You got to switch it up, right? That's what we're talking about. 13-14. Guild do currently hold advantage. Options here, though, for Shopify Rebellion. No strangers to running this back. Roll your mind back to that first half. Think about what we saw back then. And the consideration, the difference that was being shown in that second half. Now, as you noted, very standard start. Flowerfall going to be posted up, a lot more committed towards B side, but has the ability to dip away if feels the pressure coming. And a very deep hold towards the A side as well, coming out from Guild. So very, very similar scenes almost on both sides.
Exactly, and we've seen this before in reverse from Shopify, where they'll insert Flowerful on the chamber into one part of the map, go start working another. They've done something similar here, but it's just KP in the mid, kind of running some distractions, but nobody on Guild has bit at all. Still the same standard setup.
Surely they've seen the jump peak now, yeah. I'm pretty sure they noted the players by pillar pretty quickly, but they've gone pretty deep though. Right, they've been able to make a great deal of progress, get
Huge
this
entry.
close towards the site. Sonder cracks open the site. Ness gets deleted. Now they've got what they wanted. Anya B may not be aware of this. Yeah, walking in completely dazed and confused. Sonder's got a real nice bit of timing here. If they just hold, if they just pause for a second, Sonder's got the frag. That's perfect work from Sonder. And now looking for the follow.
Wow.
Sonder completely unseen. Goes unspotted somehow. And now Roxy called for heroics. We've seen great things before, and this would be something of a fairy tale. And they ain't coming true today. 14-14. We go again.
What a play. What a play coming out for Sonder. And you know, that's what you need in these OTs, is those individual heroics coming through. That push for Sonder was everything. The timing that she got, the aggression, and even the entry to boot. Shopify Rebellion. I would be patting Sonder on the back there. Good job. Go kill, Sonder.
Sonder, go kill. Yeah, I like that though, giving Sonder the space, didn't try and rush things, allowed Sonder to try and make that happen and pausing for thought. So at 14-14, this does keep going, and it kind of starts spiraling outside of a normal game. You know, when you look at regular time, it gets played out to a certain standard. You see quite concise plays, well-considered plays. By the time we get to like double OT, triple OT, it gets messy. It gets brawly. It gets so kind of enveloped by itself, it becomes a whole different beast. So as it stands, Shopify Rebellion pumping the brakes themselves. This is their timeout. They want to try and come up with whatever they can going into this Rob Wiz. Having a little chat. Sure, he'll come up with a great plan. Mustard man himself. Again, at this point though, who do you lean on? Who is your OT player? Who are you going to for here, like both sides? In my mind, of course, Roxy already got them to that point. Shopify Rebellion, you just had Sonder doing it. I guess there are names on both sides that have that OT bailout potential now.
Yeah, exactly. I like the style that I'm seeing so far from Guild. I mean, it just seems like with Ness and Roxy out on the extremities, this little three-man hunting party that they've got going on with the support of Anya, it was working so damn well, at least in the first regulation, right?
Yep.
But OT, it's a whole nother ball game. I think Guild, they need to focus and make sure they don't tunnel vision on making those shenanigans happen here.
Guild off to a quite quick start. Smurfette back to what was working to an extent, showing that early presence towards A. They had been generally...
Ness is with the group this time, though, for Guild.
Interesting.
The spike is on their back. I think maybe if Smurfette was able to find an early pick, they would have been ready to pounce, but they second guess it, decide to give Roxy just a little bit more time.
Careful.
And they're seesawing right now. Ness still holding the extremities. Nobody on Shopify has bit whatsoever.
First half, when we really saw this being pressured, the amount of times that Flowerful was outdone here as well. Something to remember. Has Flowerful grown now? This time gets away at least with her life. So it has to fall away to the site. You see them potentially calling in rotations. Already going to start seeing Laurie head through CT, heading this way. And it looks like they are going to be committing towards the side here. Spike is en route. Claudia taking a lot of chip damage. And it's actually Sonder to find Smurfette. So again, casualty on the way in towards the site. And Guild are not quite getting what they need. No full control by any means. And Flowerful going to find Claudia. That's the spike plant denied. Impactful frag, and Roxy, feeling audacious, gets denied. Flowerful again just holding the line, and they are being just taken down one by one. Anya and Ness not really having much to play with here.
There it is. Beautiful stuff. That It did seem like Guild had everything they needed to get into the site, but that one individual heroics, right? When we saw Shopify getting in there, Sonder pushed the issue even further, right? Getting into the faces. This time, though, a little bit not as aggressive coming out for Guild. They didn't even have a chance to plant.
Yeah, and what you just said then, they didn't even get as aggressive. But again, thinking back to those first glimpses where we got to see them kind of taking these side hits, you know, they were over pushing once, you know, getting a little deeper in towards B Link, pushing in towards, you know, almost kind of wrapping back around in towards Art, sitting super deep towards, like, through Pit. And that time, you're right, they didn't have that space to work with. They didn't get that far. But we now switch again. Shopify Rebellion, their opportunity on the attacking side now. Ness to see a whole lot of players. She did swing that corner, but deciding against it, opting to stay a little deeper this time. Not quite isolated, but most of the players here on the defensive side focusing towards that Link side, that connector side. And it does leave a whole lot of pressure on Ness now.
And it seems like Shopify are keeping this one simple. All 5 members are very much grouped together. They were able to have Sonder find a bunch of entries the last time. So much damage, Ness barely just limping away.
Yeah, barely breathing. The spike's going to go down. What a difference this is. Now, lots of the positions have been seen, though.
They stopped the plant.
They have indeed. They bought a couple of very critical seconds. Benita going back for a second look here and could find the timing just right. Do not write Benita out of this. She gets past Roxy. It's game on. But Roxy says no. And there's still a chance here. Another tap on the spike, but no commitment on this. And Guild, they're about to be challenged. Looks like Shopify Rebellion want to try and get in their faces. Get the fight going.
Oh my God.
Destroys 2 of them. We're into a 3v2, and it's favorable to Shopify Rebellion. Anya and Roxy, the last 2 alive, and Sonder is immovable. Sonder takes them over the line. Shopify Rebellion walking away with map 1, 16-14.
What an intelligent look there for Shopify to be able to secure that last round. You saw Sonder and her teammate inching forward slowly to spawn, and as soon as they got into position, they tapped the spike. They didn't fully commit, but they wanted that sound cue to go across to the enemy, make them peek, make them go into Sonder's crosshairs, and beautifully done. A stun to be able to secure the deal there. The utility in this first map, Lauren, it was top-notch. Nobody had fun as far as being stunned, blinded, smoked off.
Horrific if you were playing that game. As a viewer, fantastic. So much pressure into map 1. This is kind of why this was a low-key banger, right? This was the thing that was going to be crazy about this game between Shopify and Guild. They may not be the Cloud9 or the G2, but they are the team that's constantly on their heels. And it was just insanity after I mean, Roxy, I forgot about this clip. This was
it seemed so long ago.
And then you think of how they got to OT. You think about the amount of pressure that was going back through Sonder's heroics. We had KP on those perfect plants. Benita being the assassin. There were so many different moments throughout all of this that really just highlights how good of a game this just was. This is map 1. This was Shopify's pick, right? This was their choice, and it got to this amount of time. It got pushed this far, and I hope, and this is me being a realist now, I hope they can do the same on every other map. I hope this doesn't go the way I think that it could be a 1-2 kind of then leading towards Guild. I hope they have this quality going forward.
The good news is, Lauren, the good news is that they were able to fight back in that second half, right? The first half was completely flat. The experience coming through. Hey, we've got a long haul. This is a marathon. Map 2, potentially map 3 coming up. Benita should be ready. She's ready.
Okay, Benita's ready. She's been called out. No, look, I don't think you're wrong. And what is it, Haven coming up next, if I'm not mistaken? That could be a fantastic game. I'm kind of hoping it goes all 3 if that first map is anything to go by. So do not go anywhere. You don't want to miss this one.
Shopify Rebellion managed to buy themselves a win in OT. Get it? Because Shopify, you know, makes sense, right? Yeah, I thought I nailed that one. But in any case, though, what a game that was on Pearl. Certainly did not disappoint. Golden Boy here alongside with Athena and Kukuka. And, you know, going into the half, we said this is not over yet. I think Potter brought a great, perspective into it. She said, look, they were flat in the first half.
Yes.
They really need to wake up in the second. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah, especially, you know, getting the pistol right off the bat is the first task that they needed to complete. Okay,
Yeah.
you're in a 4-8, you want to make things even, get the pistol. And after that, I think that they got, what, 6 rounds in a
Yeah,
row,
something
not
like that.
dropping anything. We saw Guild making a lot of mistakes, overcommitments, situations where they already had the advantage, even in a 5v3, and they would just keep going for the hunt, for the kills, and maybe being too eager to get the rounds on their board.
Yeah, I mean, in that first half, we definitely saw Shopify being a little more shaky, kind of what you said earlier. Maybe it's the nerves.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think both teams definitely had a little aspect of that, but it felt like they started to adapt and they really started to come into their own. And Lori, can we just talk about Lori for a second? She was going
talk about
crazy.
Lori a lot.
Oh, yeah, wait, we'll talk about Lori a lot. You know who I want to talk about?
Who?
What Sonder did on
Okay.
that
Yes.
overtime. Round to round, back to back, that 4K to close things out was out of this world. Also talking to Benita, she told me that she thinks that Sonder is not talked about enough, that she's really underrated in the region. Well, she definitely had a statement to make here on this first map.
Yeah, I mean, watching this round, you can see that using their utility,
Face
like the
your
breach
fear!
out towards A main here was like a really, really good play. I mean, they knew that they were getting surrounded and kind of sandwiched by the Shopify Rebellion team, but there was nothing that they could really do about it. I mean, Shopify just had that game kind of in their hands towards the end, and they really started adapting, kind of getting a grasp of exactly how to beat this team. Obviously, it was still really, really close. Don't get me wrong, Guild, the back and forth, it was really, really close. But again, at the end of the day, it just felt like Lori and Sonder, towards the end, it was their show.
And we're showing here, if you look at your screen, Lori versus Roxy, because you mentioned, Athena, that coming into that next half, the last one that we had, we needed Lori to be able to stop Roxy, or more Roxy to stop Lori, you know, that trade of utility that we needed to see. Both these girls gave us such performances. Roxy with the Sheriff, I mean, the stats that she has to go have to be insane. But Lori playing for the rest of the team and also getting the right timing on the lurks to support them, I think has been a great sum up for this first map.
Yeah, it really was just a little bit of a slugfest, right? And at times very scrappy, right? Which is kind of, you're okay with that, right? When you want to get into scrap, you want to make things happen, right? It all depends on who's going to be able to throw the right hook first. And it seems like right now it is going to be Shopify Rebellion that managed to do so. Still plenty of series left to go here. And that actually takes us to our Verizon high-speed moment of the match. And you know what? There were so many great moments to pick, but we just had to go with Roxy's clutch in round 2. That just goes to show how good she was throughout the entirety of the series and her contributions top to bottom. She was a difference maker for this team. And even though they weren't able, Athena, to get over the line there, it's still clear that, like, Roxy, if she's aiming like that, Shopify Rebellion have a lot of work ahead of them.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it does kind of feel like both of these teams were relying a little bit on the multi-frag element. So coming into this next game, I would love and love and love to see both these teams be way more unique and way more, you know, team heavy on the way that they're playing. Obviously, this is Shopify's map, and they were relying on multi-kills. So going into this next map, it's going to be a little shaky for both these teams. But I do think Guild might have a better hold on it since it is their map pick.
Yeah, exactly. I think I agree. And also think they were too reliant on the individual duos, as you mentioned. And talking about duels, Smurfette participated in 18 of the first duels. She got 9 to 9, but definitely she understood the role that she had to fulfill within the map. That's important.
What was the job?
You go, Kill. You go first.
All right, well, let's actually reset for a moment, though, and check out an Aim Lab shoot-around with actually Shopify Rebellion's Benita, who is doing this for us here. And talking about that, though, I think it is important to note just that experience, right? That leadership that Benita was bringing to the table.
She's literally just put in a corner instead of just doing it from the middle like everybody else. She's actually putting us in real life, and she's already on the lurk. And someone is here and she's like, I gotcha. You know, I like
she's got the reads.
this approach to the Aim Lab shoot around.
Yeah, but to that point, though, Athena, I mean, I think it's just, again, the composure, what you need to have in those high stakes moments, and having a veteran like Benita in the team definitely helped out there toward the tail end of that.
Yeah, I mean, even though Benita wasn't at the top of the scoreboard necessarily, she still was able to get like the information for her team. And like even when she pushed up in an individual duel, she got the space, she got the information, she relayed that to her team. And just like that, that was the fastest way that Shopify Rebellion actually had to adapt. So I think that it worked out really well. I think Benita did a really great job, even if it wasn't like the best of performances.
Yeah, they needed to adapt, and that is exactly what they did. And that's why they were able to walk away with the win in map 1. If you missed it, though, oh boy, did you miss a banger. Yeah, exactly. Sorry for you. That was a great one. Map 1 goes to the Rebellion, but now we move on to the guild pick here of Haven. And, you know, for some context here on this map, right, this is a strong map for guild. 71% win rate here for them. Very comfortable. We were like, oh, are they going to go for the Fracture? Or are they going to go for the Haven? It felt like either option was good for them. They chose the Haven, but why did they go that route?
I think that we need to think about all the things that teams have put into this month of preparation, and probably Haven was one of the targets that Guild have. Whenever you have a power pick coming into a tournament, you need to make sure that it's really a power pick, that it's 100% winner, that it's something that you can bet on, knowing that you're going to have a strong opponent, either right at the bat or literally later on the day.
Yeah, I mean, this Haven pick is going to be really, really sick. Both these teams have a 50% win rate on it, but Shopify have played it a lot more. They've played it 6 times, whereas Guild has only played it 3 times in the previous Game Changers. So, I mean, Shopify definitely has the more, you know, more amount of time that they played, but Guild picking it makes me think that I 100% agree with you and that they will be ready for a whole new playstyle and a whole new way of playing it, that this month of preparation must have been really, really sick.
Totally. I think that it's kind of hard to get the stats right, because if we think about Guild, for example, the only tournament that they've played in the last 6 months has been Game Changers, also Medusa as well. But it's kind of complicated to just scrap it to one event. But you were right about one thing. The fact that they only played it 3 times is because they didn't get it to play it against G2. You know, their eternal rivalry there. It's about that we do not get to see against them. Still, I think it's a map very strong for them. Regarding the compositions, though, I have to say I do not really like what Shopify brings into the table here.
Yeah, I mean, well, according to the last, you know, pick that they ended up making, which was finals against C9 White, and something to note as well is that, you know, when Rebellion play this one, you know, and they lose pretty bad. But when they win, it's always a squeaker. It's always a tough one for them. So we're gonna maybe see them bring in the Sky potentially into this one. That is what they played last time against C9 White. They used the Raze as well. We'll see, right, as we get ready for the Prime Gaming Agent Select here. I will agree with you though, Kukuka. I really do like Guild's choices here versus Shopify Rebellions, but let's see, Athena, what we end up getting out of this Prime Gaming Agent Select.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited to see Anya's Breach again, just because even on Pearl, it wasn't the best, like, you know, util-wise against the comp. Her reactive stuns and reactive util was so good that it ended up, like, actually working out really, really well for them. So I'm excited to see them. Both these comps are super interesting here.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say I'm not the biggest fan of the Shopify Rebellion composition. I understand perfectly the Flower Fruit, for example, is going to be on the chamber because it's pretty much everything that she plays. Sonder, I understand that she wants the exclusivity. I think that with Raze, you can do so many crazy things here. It's maybe the fact that I would have personally go for a Breach instead of a Sage. Like, I think the Sage, even though we've seen it in a competitive play a lot and there's many things that you can do with it, I think that the variation of having Breach is so much, especially if you think that you can go against the Killjoy, all the stuns extra that you have and how strong her ultimate is.
All right, well, let's see what ends up happening in map 2. Haven, this is going to be Guild's map pick. Let's send it back over to Pansy and Potter. I was going to say Pots and Pans again.
Pots and Pans, baby. He's got one thing and he wants to lean on it now. He's trying to make that nickname work. I feel you. Don't worry, GB. I understand. It's a good little nickname, but hey, look, all I know is so far, no tech pauses, so shout out to Hypok. That's all him. That's Wait, what? I don't know.
We'll skip past that one.
Okay, Jordan, if we're going outside of normal conversation, let's bring it back in, though, and talk about Shopify Rebellion's agent selected, because it definitely caught the eye of the desk. They didn't seem too fond of it. Where do you sit on that scale?
It's a little bit questionable with Lori going onto the Sky. I still do like the Sage, though. I think the Sage,
you don't mind the Sage.
In tandem with the Astra Wall, Sage Wall coming in after. Interesting things can happen, but the Sky doesn't find quite as much value as, say, like a Breach, as Kakuka was saying on the desks. But Lori, I mean, she has such a spectacular map 1. If she's able to set her teammates up in Sonder with those long-range birds, hey, maybe they can make some magic happen. Smurfette is so aggressive to start.
Sonder looks dead to rights, but Benny still gets the trade. But there's layers to this. There is further aggression to be coming in, and Guild instantly answering back from map 1. They don't want to go quietly. They don't want to whimper out of this matchup. There is a fight to be had here. Now, looking at what remains, it's the B side. They're trying to go for it. Roxy, it wasn't pretty, but it gets the job done in the end. And actually, the flash doesn't quite find Purchase perfectly enough that they could capitalize on it. So Laurie now left a little uncomfortable here. Chip damage on Roxy. Okay, fair enough. You're not going to feed anymore, are you? You're not going to needlessly go for this. Laurie has so little to achieve in this, sadly for herself, considering where that spike is. Does have the flash now going back up, fakes it, gets a little bit of room, and just can continue working this down. I think we all know that this feels more like a formality. If Laurie proves me wrong, I will, don't know, I guess I've got to buy Shopify Rebellion t-shirt. But yeah, all good in the end. Shut down, 3 standing for Guild.
All good indeed. I love the aggression coming out for Guild right from the start. It was a little bit lacking in map 1 from the start. They started adjusting a little bit later. Smurfette does not want to mess around. She completely capitalized off that early utility that Anya sought to set her up for to get this A main control. Yep. And beautiful shots for Anya as well.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried when I saw how committed they were to that aggression, but then seeing that there was that support system coming in through sewer with the 2 players, absolutely fine with it. As long as there is like another step to it, all good for me. So we dive back into the second round here and let's look at the purchase. It is, well, classics. And a shotty for Saunders. This should be pretty much just a kind of feel out the map, get a little bit of a grip of the game here, see if you can get away with a little bit of damage. That'd be ideal, but tricky to make work, especially when you're going to have, you know, KJ's utility there. You're going to have a whole lot to try and work through. Same with Astra as well. It's very hard to find any sort of surprise, and a heavier lean towards mid, towards C. Completely understandable considering you're up against pistols.
Interested to see how much value Saunders going to get out of this shorty on the attack of all things. She's got 2 satchels, so I mean,
hey,
things could happen, but
I've seen stranger things. Now, will I see it here? Probably not. They're going to try and make as best they can, but here's that utility being a problem. Okay. The back of the contact, you have the breach utility put into play as well. So there are kind of, as we consistently say, layers to it. There's always a reaction. There it is. There's the value.
No.
Sunder is going to be loving that. Didn't think he'd get much for it, but does push and pull enough that draws them away. Now Claudia's in danger. Going to be surrounded by 3 players coming towards her, but fights out towards long. Wins it, and the support's there. Anya gets around in time, but KP has to fall away now.
And look at the B site. All those distractions that A has completely opened that up. Oh no, Roxy gets caught out with the timing. Laurie's going to be able to secure this spike. Should go down. And this dog from Laurie after the plant, I mean, she's going to be able to set up somebody. Saunders should be following that, taking over that C-Link.
This is huge. They've actually made a round of this. Now, whether or not they can hold the post is a different ordeal altogether. KP did get the Spectre. There's still that shorty on Saunders, so there is a chance of damage. Paint Shell still into play as well, and Ness may be able to clear one, but Ness gonna find Sonder and KP left to their own devices. Got the double before, but only one this time. And Claudia will be there to secure it. It got way more dangerous than it should have been.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh man, Smurfette overheating just a little bit. She smelled the ecos. She wanted those eeks, and she gets absolutely punished. I mean, Sonder almost got away with, what, 2.5 kills? Yep. 1.5 kills this round? That should have never happened. So, I mean, for Shopify, they're absolutely thrilled with this round. Claudia absolutely saving the day with that double kill as well.
The bonus is going to be way less potent for Guild.
They're broke. They're so broke.
What do they do?
Okay,
Smurfette, come on.
This is not a bonus. They've got to fully invest.
Yeah, it's absolutely not. They've got very little. Ness has the ghost full armor. You've got, it's just scrappy by all accounts. So do they get aggressive to try and compensate? Potentially. See Smurfette happy to challenge early here. Dangerous playstyle, but could have maybe paid off. But this deep default not really allowing much of that play.
I do like how active Smurfette is being on the map. First she went sniffing towards that garage. Now she's inserted long plat C. Roxy getting a lot of contact here. Beautiful flash coming out from Anya.
And this is some of the brilliance of Anya, though. Kind of those unsung heroes to a degree, but Roxy again, I think I've just seen a barrel backing away potentially there from Flowerful. But they've held off that first wave. And remember, circumventing a little bit of this default is the fact they've been able to post up Smurfette all the way down towards C. They can leave her there to her own devices. As long as they can hold Garage, they can keep an eye towards B. And that looks like where Shopify Rebellion are eyeing up.
Oh, this play towards B might make Smurfette white. But oh, the timing is everything for her. Able to punish Benita, and they Shopify don't even get the spike down at
No,
B.
they weren't committing to it fully. The wall got broken anyway. They backed away, maybe hoping that C was going to be the end goal, but Smurfette still standing. Catches KP as well. And that's a spike, yes, recovered, but it was dropped. They know what their plan was now. You can see Anya on the case just around this corner. Ness there as well. Going to catch out Laurie. And it's Flowerful left in the ruin of what this round could have been. They were on a broken buy, and if they can keep 3 alive for Guild, this is good for them going forward. You do not want to lose any more players in this, but obviously for Shopify Rebellion, they need something. They need a miracle at this point. 8 seconds and a dream for Flowerful. It ain't happening. Guild, that's 3. And they navigate past what could have been a very dicey round there.
Yeah, that's got a sting for Shopify as well, because it was dicey indeed. I mean, the weaponry was just not there for Shopify, but the fact that, man, the mobility coming out. We mentioned the fact that Smurfette started the round in mid, ended the round towards long C, and I thought all that pressure towards B would make her crack, but she's disciplined. She is fully aware, and that is such good signs coming out for Guild to be able to have those quick comms, communications coming through, and your players being able to react perfectly to it.
Yeah, and with this buy coming in for Shopify Rebellion, I'm not holding out as much hope. Yes, they got, you know, they got under the skin a little bit in those first couple of rounds, but now the stability starts to hit. Guild should have that full set of utility, full armor, weaponry looking pretty. Even Smurfette actually down to 5 HP this early on.
A lot of damage. Smurfette's wishing the sky was on her squad right now.
Here.
Looks like Shopify want to test their luck towards this B. The Sage Wall last time around, you mentioned it, Lauren, got broken immediately. This time, she tries to the left side this time instead.
Oh, Ness, I thought she was on for 3 of them back to back there. Sonda barely alive, and Anya just instantly pouring the utility in to maybe deny any quick, I guess, springboard off the back of the pick towards Ness. So re-exploring to try maybe garner a plot. See an awkward fight for Anya, but still rides out the blast pack and is just fine for staying alive. Even though it did look a little bit chaotic, they kept composure.
Good response, denying that plant as well. No extra money on the board for Shopify. And those small moves start to stack up towards the end. We are in round 5. Laurie has the jellies. Now they are 1 off away from the reds. I expect Shopify to slow things down here, be able to push back the defenders and make some sort of exec happen. I know Skies usually always like to go out towards that grass, have those jellies, go out, split the map, and follow whichever has the less.
See if that's the case. Quick flash towards middle. Flowerful leading the way as well. So looks like they might want to challenge towards Garage here. There is still that utility to clear, which they should be very aware of now. Testing that a couple of times and now spotting out Roxy too. So they've got a good concept of where at least Roxy is, but there are 3 players leaning towards the C side. And there's the aggression on the other side of the map, so a tricky fight wherever they take this. Now, if they do start exploring towards A, they're, as I said, pushed up already, taking so much space, and you have Smurfette here.
Exactly, the crossfire between Smurfette gets contact, and now it's Claudia's turn. Ultimate's going to be expended as well.
2 players noticed. They still know they are not all present here. They do need to keep their players split across the map. They cannot fully commit the rotation, even though the spike might have been seen dropping out of the player's hand. So what options do they explore now? Where do they look?
A little bit of a kneecap showing there for Bonita. A lot of damage, and that's a nice shot. Ness gets taken out. Only 2 defenders here. The Sky ultimate has been used. Bonita's trying to wait, allow those to catch up to her. Look at the rotations.
Still go for C?
Everyone's rotating.
Okay, they're still looking towards that B site.
30 seconds left.
Plant gonna be pretty uncontested here. Yeah, this is fine. Plant's in. You happy with that? Tommy only really noting the player on the way out at this point. They cleared the site, but this is a deeper post plant. They are set up on those back lines. I wonder if Guild can maybe pry them out of these positions.
Smurfette still has 2 smokes left, but that's about it. Claudia's gonna try to allow some info play here to get the spike tapped. Are they gonna get half?
Massive pick towards Anya. That's now the Garage.
She's taking it.
Roxy stayed on that one. The paint shell came in. Smurfette dives towards it and will lose her life for it. Shopify Rebellion. Answer back in kind. First one on the board here in map 2.
Guild making a quick play there to just completely stick it. I thought they were just gonna go for half, get off the spike, and really try to secure that, but tries to get away with a lot more. than they wanted, and Shopify is able to finally convert that one. And I like the start of that round, right? A lot of pressure towards that A main, then seesawing back towards C long, and that allows that B site to then be clear. So good mobility here for Shopify to finally get their first round on the board.
Now we did see Claudia's ult coming in for Guild. The others are very much on the precipice of coming up and being available for use. Same for Sonda, Benita, Flowerful, and of course KP's got theirs. So a couple of options here, but Smurfette back to the aggressive business. Falling away, and Claudia going to try and keep her safe. Flash did follow, but there's that res. Invested from KP to back up to 5 apiece.
The position here for Flowerful is so strong. Just kind of waiting for anyone to come back and re-clear mid. She does have to take care of this Killjoy utility in middle. And right now, things have just slowed down. No one's gotten picked. Thankfully, Benita was, as you say, able to get that res off, but still, A main control for Claudia. Smurfette is just inserted. She's got all the line of sight. Another hand at B here.
Yeah, they're still liking this, but they've got players. They've got numbers this time. KP and Co do get slowed down. Laurie's still going to land the shot, but it's Anya. Quick to business, quick to work, and quick to take down 2. KP is slaughtered, and now Flowerful needs to bail him out with a couple here. Get under the skin, get in their faces. 2 more players present on the B side itself, and Smurfette en route. Benny's flank could be divine, but now the timing. Gonna lose some of that validity to it. Already you're seeing Smurfette consider this, and rightly so. They probably considered and found Benita earlier on. So they've got to know this was a chance. Smurfette reads it well, and Guild back in control.
Anya, what a response. Just an immediate reaction, popping the ultimate, popping the drill, completely single-handedly denying the plant. And we've been seeing her, right? I mean, Breach is one of those agents that is very difficult to shift between becoming that duelist and becoming that support, always having that fault line out and supporting your mates. But Anya, we've seen her time again, just W King. She's in there, man. She wants to get involved, and she completely denies that B plant.
Yeah, Anya's an incredibly impressive player. It's very easy to see your Smurfettes or see your Roxys, but Anya is the one that does support a lot of these approaches. And Sonda this time getting away unscathed. It's been a switch up. We're seeing the turret invested over towards A as well. Let's see the alarm now note that the player has made quick progress here. Now this is a half buy, but Laurie does have that rifle, so don't think it's without complete danger. But they have an A site on pretty much for free here.
Yeah, and you saw Roxy just completely leaving that. She's got the ultimate up.
Looks real ready.
Yeah, I mean, Sondra might be able to break it if she has some incredible showstopper lineup, but Roxy's just going to pop that down. This should be a hectic retake.
Yeah, KP going to be locked towards the site here. Going to be brutal to try and get away from.
Oh,
and had no idea. Claudia making the most of that. The C's just removing some of that capability. Flowerful in so much danger. The poor on utility as well. Tap on the spike, has to TP away. Second tap goes in. Divide's about to go up, but they're losing bodies. Sonda's found Anya. This is still looking pretty okay for Shopify Rebellion if they can get towards the plant. The pop of the ult gets sent in, finds no one. Time's starting to dwindle, though. They're going to start running out of it. Laurie's position gets checked. Great work from Roxy. And now they're scrambling. They're trying to do what they can. The defuse going to carry on as Roxy on guard duty. Keeps that scoreline very favorable right now.
Layers, the layers that Guild have ready for this retake to happen. Not only did they look completely in control and Roxy was A-okay with just leaving the site, the fault line to follow through, the slash, the smoke, the Astral Wall to completely deny any sort of securing this post. Roxy perfectly positioned as well. That looked a little too easy for Guild. I mean, I thought that the pressure was going to be on. I thought this retake was going to be incredibly difficult, but they make that look so clean.
They certainly do. I was with you as well, and there was a little bit of chip damage coming in from, like, I think it was like a stinger. I was like, okay, there's some danger in the post plant, but yeah, apparently not. A lot of utility invested for that, and considering, I mean, it's hard to look at silver lining when you're starting to sit at like a 6-1 scoreline. You look at, okay, well, they used a lot of, you know, the ults coming through there. The divide did come up. We had, you know, the lockdown from Roxy. Roxy's already got, you know, pretty close to getting that back online, so that's no harm, no foul. But I guess, yeah, I don't want to look at silver lining when you're at 6-1. I'm not going to start talking about, you know, maybe drawing out some of those ultimates when you still need to start doing damage on that board, getting those rounds in your favor. Yes, they have been close, but I do want to see more. What's the plan coming out from old Robbie Wiz there? He's going through the options, but I do need to see in the server. And this is one thing I did worry about, right? Because Pearl was never a huge map for Guild. Yes, they had played it in the past, and they put up a great performance against Shopify Rebellion. But now looking at Icebox as well, one of the home maps that I always thought was very, very solid for Guild. They were able to push G2 there as well. That's been one of the kind of strongholds for them there. And Haven did sit in their favor. This is why I was worried that this could be that 1-2 scoreline. I want to see a reply from Shopify, and I need to see it soon.
Shopify are gonna need to try to default a little bit faster. I think they need to try to take care of this Killjoy utility earlier than later, and you can see that Flowerful is doing just that, going into the garage, takes care of that. Vault Line's gonna allow Claudia to re-aggress and re-clear. 3 members of Shopify just on the other side. Anya might have a flash out ready to just react.
Do this, Claudia. Great trade. What a snap towards Anya. No right to find that player in the window. Now Smurf in a world of trouble. Pinch comes in. Benita makes her appearance and presence noted. And it's all perfect. It's all roses right now for Shopify Rebellion. Lovely answer back after that timeout.
Exactly what Shopify needed. They've got the site now. Roxy's going to try to test her luck. If she's able to find some sort of a kill, the retake should be on. So blind across the board. And Lori, what an absolute round. She didn't miss a single bullet. Not a single bullet.
Nope, I hope we get a replay on that second kill on Anya, because the first was like, okay, fair enough. That was, a noted player. Probably a good trade. And then the adjustment to window was just like, okay. Must be nice.
The timing for Benita here as well to catch Smurfette off guard. We talked about Smurfette being down in that long C hubby multiple times. Benita looking completely aware. That is a solid timeout for the squad. Finally, a round in which Shopify looked to be in control. We'll see if they're able to replicate it into this one. Healthy purchase. Smurfette going for another quick peek out of that garage.
Yeah, really bold and did catch a glimpse of one. I'm pretty sure at least seeing Lori, but they're smoking up just at the time to deny that. And they fall back to a more standardized hold, but you are seeing a lot of faith put in towards Roxy here to hold towards A long. No support system there. We have seen Anya in the past leaning over quickly to try and give them a way out, and that's a player seen. So Roxy now should be well aware of what's coming her way. Maybe not in the numbers she might expect, but could be on the chopping block, could be in a world of trouble.
Biding her time, Anya and Roxy, the synergy between these two have been so spot on. Flowerful. We'll see if, I think she could hear the turret from here. She absolutely can. So she's just waiting her time. And once again, this garage pressure coming through here from Shopify.
The turn from the Prowler in the end. So they do know that there is still that exploration towards middle.
I think she spotted 2 players. Yeah, Shopify, they spotted the 2 players. They saw Smurfette on that edge with that operator.
30 seconds left.
This is a dangerous game, but that's a spike.
Oh, boy.
Flash to the face. Roxy is fully blinded, but you've got 20 seconds to make this work. Flowerful bullies out Anya, and it's a race towards the side, but do they commit? It looks like Ness wants to try and deny the cross. What a shot! Takes out Flowerful, and now at 10 seconds, the site is not safe. Laurie with a great pick towards CT, though, trying to deny it. Claudia dives on in, gets the tag, but not the frag, and Sonda's still alive. Ness now in the 1v1. And timing is everything, 67 HP. Have you got any idea they could be on the other side here? And slowly they work around the side. Sonda timing on their side. Somehow they get across the line.
That is exactly what Shopify needed. Sonder stepping up huge exactly when they needed it. I mean, she was flying. She flew out from short A with the satchel. Able to convert, man, and Guild had so much control in this round. The entirety of the round, A main was completely theirs, but somehow, Lori just forcing the issue, forcing that trade, and making sure Roxy gets taken out. Able to buy some space for Sonder to just let her work her magic. That's got to feel good for Sonder. Finally, a little bit of a lifeline here for Shopify. 2 rounds in a row.
And they've broken the money. Finally, they have absolutely broken the economy. Yes, there is those ults to depend on if they feel that the timing is right, but Claudia going to try and just stay. No, did get seen. Sonder turns in time. And now there's more pressure. They are trying to pour this on, and the play comes in. The pinch only going to pay off for 1 player, and it's chaotic. It's a little dramatic, but it's 4 alive, and Shopify closing the gap now.
That was a W key rush. You know what? Yep. They're broke, guys. Let's keep this one real simple. Let's just take long C.
Yeah, rush C, no stop.
They're able to come out on top of that one. And, when you start to see that the flankers are able to actually punish the players coming out sniffing out of that long A extremity or coming outside of that B, when those punishes happen, you start to be able to mid-round. Even though that was a complete full-on rush for Shopify, they were able to have that option as a secondary if that initial hit didn't work. So starting to see finally, coming alive, warming up into the second half. Guild, Smurfette, another operator in hand.
If they get past this round, they have denied it against the full purchase. All the odds, but they don't check finesse. This time, gets away with daylight robbery. It's Thunder and KP going down. Good trades though, so it is still a 3v3. Seek is going to come in. That's going to be Anya's ult, going to come on through, deny the plant, so that's still contested. But Anya making quick pace of it, trying to challenge a little through by CT, but has to respect it in the end, as Benny starting to wind up that flank, looking like she wants to strike from the back line. Oh no! Benny makes a meal of it, and Guild will devour Shopify that time. That's unfortunate. That could have been a huge bit of impact.
Perfect timing, perfect positioning, but unable to convert. What a flick as well for Smurfette. And you're absolutely right, Anya. She didn't want to mess around, man. If she didn't get slowed there from that smoke, she would have completely just pre-took it on her own. But Shopify, they get punished. You know, it worked a little bit too easily on that anti-eco. They wanted to take it down again on that aggressive push. Last round of the half, I don't think Shopify is going to be able to afford to take it that fast this time. Things are going to slow down. KP wants that res in hand.
Yeah, that's back into play. That's a huge ult to have. And Roxy taking a little bit of flak damage at the start, down to 42 HP, so not be feeling as good on this hole, but a quick rotation. They are pulling Anya around towards the C site so early on off that contact, but it looks like a B piece here. Dealing quickly with utility set into place by Roxy, so answer comes back from Anya, going to slow the roll.
Job done here for Shopify. Sandra went, took care of that Killjoy utility. Now, going to test her luck in this garage. This is a lot of... Oh, she's not slowing down.
Sandra, this is maybe insane, but it works out. Still going to find Roxy somehow. And I think the lockdown came in just at the same time. They just got destroyed as well. So at this point, 4v4, but the res is there for KP. So if they feel like they can work towards that C side, that is still in the pocket. A little messy, but it gets across the line for Flowerful and giving them the advantage of 4-3.
Flowerful gets healed up as well. Definitely the benefit of having two healing agents on your squad. If Ness is able to catch a glimpse, and she did, she absolutely saw a shoulder. The communications are going to come through for her squad. 20 seconds left on the clock.
Still has the divide if they feel they've got the time for it, but timing is everything. 18 seconds now. Ness, can you play this? Can you be the hero that your team needs? The flash was on the back of the side, not towards the smoke. And between Anya and Ness, they make it count, leaving Flowerful in a world of trouble. Guild giving themselves a little bit of a buffer towards the end of this half.
Oh man, just the fact that Ness was able to catch that little glimpse. I mean, with so little time left on the clock, process of elimination, you can surely bet that C will be the site that they commit to. If Shopify didn't get spotted, I think this round absolutely looks different, but what a dominant first half here for Guild.
Yeah, I would want to kind of put in a little bit of that context of, you know, the pistol round going the way it did as well, and a couple other aspects, but you're absolutely right. They course-corrected at the end. It got very much a close affair. Shopify had the answers for a while, but they need a whole lot more as they sit on 4 rounds. Desk, what do you make of it?
Well, I tell you what, as of right now, it feels a little bit like deja vu, but also it's been another scrappy game from both of these two teams. And Athena, I mean, right out of the gate, you can already see that, like, there was just... It feels like when Shopify win a round, they win it decisively. But when they lose, it feels like everything crumbles around them. Like, there's no chance for recovery in these rounds.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, with Shopify, when they win a round, you can tell that they're kind of, like, doing it in a way of their own. And with Guild, they're just playing this map to their comfort picks. And so I actually want to talk about a round here to kind of touch up about these picks that they are doing. And that's the Breach and Killjoy. So we're coming into round 3 here, and you actually see the Killjoy trap with an alarm bot here, and Breach is just sitting here with the flash ready. Immediately they get the pick and they fall off. And small little traps like that makes me believe that the reason that Guild did so well on this defense side is because they're so comfortable with these agents, and they're able to bring that across the board. I mean, we saw it in Pearl as well, so I wonder how they're going to bring that forward.
Yeah, totally. But on the side of utility, as you mentioned it, I feel like Guild had a quick trigger, a very sensitive one, because we saw them burning utility over and over, time and time again. And watch out, because especially in the late round, especially when Shopify is deciding to go C at the end of the round, you're not going to have much, and you're literally going to have to talk about duels. So looking ahead, what can we expect of the next half? Because knowing that Shopify Rebellion has the Raze, you know, the extra mobility, and also the Sage, we thought that maybe, precisely because they start on this attack, they would have, you know, more props to get in the rounds. But moving ahead, we know that Smurfette playing on the Jet is going to be something that they need to shut down, and their biggest slow in power is going to reside on Sage.
Yeah. Well, by the way, to the person saying I'm the best Brimstone player alive, how dare you? As the resident Boomerstone. Okay, I don't appreciate that. I'm kidding, of course. I'm terrible. But yeah, you know, you're right. Like I was just expecting a little bit more oomph from the composition of the attack from Shopify Rebellion. Guild, they're popping off.
Now they need to be extra aggressive, maybe on some part of the map, to gather that extra information. Because remember, they're only playing with the sky. That's all of the sources that they're gonna have with information. Again, you know, I think that if you have the Race and the Chamber, you cannot have the Sage. Like, you cannot have it all. Okay, you can only pick 5 agents.
All right. Well, let's see if lightning strikes twice here for Shopify. Send it back over to the casters.
Yeah, thank you. 8-4. It is now going to be very much up in the air. Shopify Rebellion need that good start here, or we start eyeing up map 3. The score feels so much closer in this if you don't pick up that pistol, or if you do for the other side. So for now, Smurfette finding Flowerful instantly.
Yeah, Flowerful had such advantageous positioning, but a little bit of a whiff shot, and power numbers for Guild able to convert that one. This is a fast garage split.
Yeah, they are not slowing down for anything. They want that plant. They want it about 30 seconds ago. So yeah, spike in. No stress there, Smurfette. Leading by example and wants to get back into the battle of it all. Here's the drop and takes the player. Good trade, though. Anya going to take down KP as well. So nothing going favorably for Shopify Rebellion without an answer. And Benita getting warded away. Laurie's still there and has had a belting first half, but gets no opportunity. And they already seen Benita, so should be well aware. And will just fizzle out in this round. 9-4. This could be a very quick half.
Simple, straightforward for Guild, and the power of Killjoy coming through. You know, Roxy might be a little boring for her this game because she's just required, her responsibility is the flank, but that flex, that having that luxury of never have to worry about who's creeping up behind you at all times, it's great for the attack side of Guild. So Roxy's just securing the back lines and even able to ping pong and react in that garage. So beautiful stuff for Guild. Nice cool control as well. And another shorty coming out for Sonder. On the defense this time. If she was able to get 1.5 kills last time, we'll see what she's able to do this. No one's gonna mess with her though.
No, I think Roxy is on kind of backline duty again. We'll have a lot of pressure coming her way, but now we'll be...
Oh, they heard it.
Yeah, they'll be so aware that there's a whole lot of players here. Baited in a
Oh
little.
no!
Yeah, baited in by that. And wanted to take a glimpse, and actually now there's a couple of issues here, but a deeper hold coming out as well. Smurfette just gets straight to CT. Already going to note the rotation there, but they know that there could be someone coming up, you know, towards C long, could be through B. There could be plenty of problems with that. Actually, a flash, if anything, does tell you more players will be coming through from that CT side.
Decisive map control for Guild. Ooh. Oh, that's a quick one for Sonder. They're making this one quite expensive for Guild. Should be A-okay though. Nice crossfire at least. Okay. And able to recover. Things got dicey. Yeah, I actually... I really like that bait from Sonder. You know, she's like, come get me, guys. Shoots a few bullets, and Roxy obliged.
There it is. This should be I don't want to say an even buy. It's actually going to be substantially better for Shopify Rebellion. So keep in mind, if this gets converted for Guild, I'm saying go next. I'm calling it where it is. This is going to be one of the rounds that could be pretty defining, pretty quick to call it. 10-4 as it stands. That would put them, of course, on 11 for Guild. And they actually have a fairly decent purchase here. Smurfette could just ride it out on the knives, potentially. Decides not to, wants a rifle. Maybe lean on that later.
It looks like she wants to replicate the pistol once again. Both her and Fade applying the pressure front B, taking care of this Sage wall, and burning this much utility early is certainly going to help things on the attack. They hear the chamber trip as well.
Yeah, they've got a fair amount of information, and this does then put the pressure towards Benita, tucked towards the back of Plat. On towards CT, that's KP. And KP having a quiet first half. Could be a chance to make up for it here, but Claudia getting right
Nice
behind enemy
slow.
lines, and the timing could have been atrocious for her, but actually Smurfette still being such a nuisance. Does not know about KP just yet,
What a
now
slow.
does. KP playing this really well. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. Could have done with some more there, but Claudia overwhelms and actually wants to fight towards CT. It ain't done yet. I thought they might have had this one finally in the bag, but there's still a fight left in Guild. Spike on the way. That's going to go down, and we're in a 3v3.
Claudia just repositioning as well. It looks like Guild don't want to play onto the site, and they've got really nice utility for this post. Molotovs and that Asher util.
Oh, it's a really tough
She's
situation.
trying to find... Oh, she got it.
Yeah, okay, so Flaffle's at least taken one of the pieces of utility down. There was another time buyer there. Claudia on the swing, and Ness. Now, around the world, we see Roxy go, but when do they consider it? Claudia does need to make sure they find the fight on this one, because now the time is going to be of the problem of the essence. And Laurie and Sonder in unison. Get them up to 5. It was a bonus, but it was a well-invested bonus from Guild.
Squad up, protect me. I'm defusing the spike. Get in front of me, body block, do whatever you can. Shopify are able to convert that one. Guild are playing with such confidence right now. Every decision that they're making is very decisive. Granted, that was their bonus. Be a little bit more loosey-goosey on that. I'll be curious to see how they approach this one.
I mean,
Smurfette's got the
money is ass.
Yeah, it's not the greatest, but you know what? This is when you're a little bit more free and loose, right? I mean, it looks like Smurfette wants to capitalize off this fault line and those knives. She's getting into long A, but no one's there.
Yeah, no one wants to play to the tune. Smurfette just going to hold this down for a while. You can see the Prowler working through onto it. That's going to be on Claudia. Having a nightmare herself. We'll pretend we didn't see it. Don't worry, that was all intentional. Oh
she's
my
in.
god, how is Smurfette got here? I do not know how she got that far up and didn't get checked on. You can see the quick pop flashes to check if anyone else was following. No one else is there, so this is all a bit of a curious round. Way more success than necessary. I'm curious about Roxy and Benita here. Yeah, on the other side, that's a judge though, so should be a one fight there for Benita.
You say that. We'll see what the discipline looks like here. She's definitely going to get baited out. I mean, she's going to want to take care of Roxy, figure out exactly how many numbers are in this mid area, whether they have a main control still or not. Roxy's in such a power position. The rest of Guild are taking over this A site.
Should see at least 2. Okay, 2 players seen. That's huge information.
Oh, Benita's flanking Roxy.
What can Roxy do here? Roxy still standing. Roxy's not dead. Wait, didn't turn around. Just paid no mind to the fact that there was a judge in the back. And we do have the ult on Anya now, so do not forget that. Only the Sheriff to play with, but still is Claudia and Ness standing at the time on their side. 5 players against them. The ult gets popped as well, coming out from Raze. Sends it, finds Claudia. Trade comes out from Ness, but Laurie, right position, right time. 2 big kills, and Shopify Rebellion not out of it yet. Laurie will drag them kicking and screaming back into this game.
Yeah, Laurie has been just an absolute monster in map 1 and continuing it on into here, map 2. And again, decisive, the fearlessness, just flying out of that heaven to make sure she's good for those trades.
Reloading.
And Guild had every opportunity to be able to convert this one, right? But Benita being able to, again, sniff out that information. She needed to figure out exactly how many numbers were in that mid area to allow the rest of her teammates to properly rotate and be in the right spot at the right time. So good information seeking for Benita. And they're able to convert once again.
Okay, they're giving themselves a little path here.
A little bit of a comeback, maybe? Benita's feeling good.
Okay, relax. It's 10-6. And there's Smurfette on the site again. Smurfette, if she started landing some of these, I don't know how she's... Okay, this is just chaos. It shouldn't be a problem. They're fine. It was a little bit of madness, but it's all good in the end. So Shopify Rebellion do make it 7. Yeah, Smurfette is somehow getting on these sides, just can't get a singular kill for it. But at this point, we have the buyback in. This is what I'm looking at. You have Claudia 1-off, I think, and Roxy 1-off on the other side. You still have Laurie there with hers, Benita as well. So a couple of ult signs to cycle through. This is the big buy. This is, okay, now this is the one. If Shopify Rebellion are able to get the best here of Guild, then I'm back on board. Then I see that they can close the gap. Then I actually see it coming in on those big buy rounds, none of those shoddy, bonuses or anything. No, this is the big one. So this is where it could be the difference maker. Let's see what Shopify Rebellion actually have for us here. A massive opportunity for them to potentially close this scoreline up.
Look, it's looking very similar to what we saw on the pistol round. Smurfette and the Fade poking and prodding in front of this B. They want to take care of the utility once more. And you're right, Smurfette, the dashing in has been a little bit discombobulated with the rest of the squad, but I love how dedicated Smurfette has been to the cause. She gets Claudia in opening, and the B site should be Guild.
Huge. That could have been a huge ult for Claudia. I don't know if she wants to go for it yet. You can see Anya's there anyway, but Laurie a little ahead of it. There it is, and they're chasing this one down. Laurie has to back away. Smurfette hunts down Flowerful. Laurie's in a while. The danger spikes on the way towards B. This looks like the plan. Looks like Guild are very much in line this time. KP and Benita. KP smoked off for now, spammed away at. And Benny taking the time, spots one, nice, quick, towards Anya, clean, doesn't lose a point of HP. Needs to get past Claudia though, and that angle hard to clear without giving yourself away towards Smurfette potentially. And there it is, Executioner. Claudia started things off so well, and now Benny, position considered. It's all just being piled on! Got two, not the third or fourth. It's 11 for Guild now.
Guild, decisive maneuvers once again coming through, and yeah, I mean, every move that they made, Claudia, you saw her immediate reaction, busting out that Fade ultimate, holding on to it again. They've got all the information they need, and as they should, right? When Smurfette, your duelist, is being so dedicated to taking all the space that she can, opening up the map, I mean, you've got a lot of breathing room for Guild, so I'd be happy if that was my duelist.
Yeah, look, doing the job that's necessary now. This is the first one in a while that's looked quite clean for Guild, to be fair. I think that's a fair assessment. The other times it's been Shopify Rebellion very much holding on to this game. Now they still have enough money in the bank to be able to get a good purchase here. Alt-wise starting to come through with a couple of key components. KP's, for example, and Benny's still there in play. Laurie investing hers last round. So at this point, quick timeout comes in, and rightly so. None called yet for Guild. They feel as though they are still in a good enough position to do this, tipping those scales back in their favor just at the right time. I think that if Shopify Rebellion did win that key round we were talking about just a moment ago, we would have seen that timeout come in. We would have seen them maybe look to address something.
Yeah, exactly. And with Shopify Rebellion's composition here, the defense can get quite tricky, because when we saw Guild with their comp, they consistently contested this A main. They had Smurfette on that off angle with the operator, and they sometimes had Claudia coming through with that utility as well. For Shopify, they don't have those agents that can go forward, get a pick, and fall back for free, right? They don't got a chamber, they don't got a jet. So getting that A main control with this comp, without a breach, it's so tough. So they're coming up with a different strategy, figuring out exactly how they can actually contest and find some ground, find some sort of map control on the defense.
Do want to see if they get a little curious through middle as well. Seeing a little bit of potential of it again. Benny knows the angles, hitting them. Claudia's one punished on this as well, so we'll have to go in a little blinder than usual towards that C site. A couple of traps there to chip away at Smurfette, but nothing too problematic. Plant will be coming in. We saw some of these ults coming online. Ness utilizing theirs here. Plant has come through, and now we look at the post plant. How safe is this?
Ooh. I like the decision coming out for Ness. You saw that she was contemplating whether to fall off the site or play on it. They're realizing they don't have the full-on utility that they would like to make this post work, so they're staying on the site and they're re-aggressing into Garage.
Flowerful is being watched. Smurfette kept it safe. That could have been 3 players dead, but it certainly wasn't. Smurfette on guard duty. Ness, similar scenes. And the trades are good, but KP it's on anymore. Benita there and Guild crumble. It ain't over yet. 2 of them stand. Diffuse comes in. They're up to 8.
That paint shell from Sonder did so much work in that little corridor of Garage. I loved the re-aggress coming out for Guild, but man, that paint shell completely ruined their day.
And that's 2 massive ults invested, gone as well. Let's have a watch back of this, because it was so chaotic for a couple of moments there, but then the 3 back-to-back, just the timing could not have been better for this. There it is. Wow. They are holding on to this game. I mean, 11-8 now. The scoreline is starting to get a little scary, because this here, well, it's going to be 1 hero rifle with Smurfette, the rest on Sheriff's of the Light Armor. So it's nothing to be completely absent-minded about. There is certainly an aspect of danger to it. And trying to deal with that wall early on towards Garage, maybe give them some later options. But they're going to note this now. They're going to know, okay, there are Sheriffs out and about. There's a couple of bits and pieces here. But they want to test the waters. They feel like they could challenge Roxy. And maybe you need to remember map 1. What happened there with Roxy?
Oh, no.
And a Sheriff, maybe. That'll help remind you. But a quick trade out. Benita winning the fight over towards C Long. Garage control. Spots the pistol. Takes away Claudia. And they're in CT, so there's some really unique positions. KP and Benny will have no idea about this. If they at least try and clear this, which they will, do they go deep enough to find Benny? They do, but it's not clean from Smurfette here. Now there's a fight on their hands. They could have maybe had both if they swung a little deeper. Roxy's lurk could be something to remind yourself with. Benny feeling the pressure, feeling there's no plan here. Benny's on the chopping block. Benny takes down one, takes down you with her. Can she get Smurfette? No. Quick trade, but now a 2v2, and Roxy makes it towards the site.
Lori on the quick flank chamber. Flowerful has got that B control now. After they plant this, Roxy and Smurfette, they're going to want to go for some control. It looks like they're both going to take over this backside area. But the spike, it's not planted for them. Once they take this control, they got to keep going for more.
Yeah, but Roxy's utility should be pretty impactful at this point as well. Reveal the position of Flowerful. There it is. Huge information learned, and they're going to be wondering where the hell they are. The flash comes out towards the back of the site, finds no one. They've got to be second guessing themselves. The paranoia building, but Laurie ain't stopping until then. Oh, Laurie with one! Roxy goes down! And Laurie doesn't know how to lose. And Shopify Rebellion make it up towards 9. It's scrappy again, but it's the closing of the score. It's only a couple of rounds now, and maybe this could be a 2-0.
Scrappy. How the hell did we have two attackers ending up in their spawn to flank?
I do not know.
Man, this round was just everywhere. Everywhere. Sandra, you saw her taking over that A main control. I was just talking about how hard it is. Almost giving it away by giving up that first freebie on an anti-eco. So certainly a good recovery for Shopify, but things got a little too close for comfort if you're Shopify Guild. A healthy purchase, and they want this A main control. They do not want Sonder to have just her way in this area.
Follow-up flash shows there was some commitment towards that push towards A-Long, so maybe sticking around a little longer, committing that wall towards Sewer 2. See another challenge for Claudia to clear. Let's all look through spots, no one close, but these cubbies are quite deep, so has to really spend a couple of seconds. Sonder is on the case here.
What a shot.
Bangs out Claudia. Now you're starting to get worried if you're a Guild fan, because things were looking good. You're like, it's okay, we got map 2, map 3, and then suddenly Shopify Rebellion forget that this was not meant to be a good map for them in the same regard. And okay, Roxy. Okay.
I thought she wanted. There was a slight opportunity for her to maybe get a timing into that A-Link. Decides to go and break that chamber trip. That should apply enough. The timing.
Oh, I forgot that Tommy was there. Tommy's on the case, it's all right. We still have the res for KP, and Sonder has her ult too, and they're about to cycle up so many more as well. They're actually in such a power position here, Shopify Rebellion. I'm actually worried for Guild now. Laurie caught looking the wrong way. Has to respect the site has now been taken. So that should be the plan coming in. Don't know how much could deny that here. No, nothing. So plan going to come through. Time's on their side.
Sonder decides to hold on to that paint shell, and that should initiate a proper retake here. They want to buy enough time for Benita to make sure that she's a little bit closer. As I say that, Sonder, she just wants to go.
Just ate the flash though. Sonder has to go a little late on this one. Hotel sees no one, but sees the barrel, takes the life. Ness left buried. Anya looking wounded. Roxy navigated past, left all alone, and Sewer Tarot takes one with her. But the trade from Benny, they are back in the game. It's double digits for Shopify Rebellion, keeping 3 alive, keeping that economy looking healthier and healthier now. And on the other side, I want to see the position the Guild are left in. This could be problems. This could be danger. They could be down to absolutely, nothing. I don't know what they're going to be left with here to come in with this buy. I hope they can really muster something together. They've got a couple of ults to play with. I'm seeing bits and pieces, but I'm also critically seeing here, Potter, a Guild timeout.
Yes, and it's coming right in the nick of time as well. You know, we talked about the fact that this disconnect a little bit slightly from Smurfette entering into the site and the rest of the squad following up. I like the looks, right? Because they're looking for that distraction at short A, and as soon as that contact comes up, Smurfette is dashing through, but she needs a little bit of help, but that's the issue. When you've got a dive agent, it's so tough to catch up with your homie who's already so fast forward. So they've got to be able to come up with a better plan to help Smurfette out when she's in the thick of things here, to find a better entry.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I want to see that, you know, it's not really Smurfette that I'm looking at, it's the secondary player. It's a player who's going to kind of make the most of that position, maybe find anyone trying to deal with her in that smoke, but as it stands, there isn't that layer. And I want to see what Guild's approach is now, because I'm looking at the buy coming out. There are going to be issues with it. We can kind of dive into that once the round kind of kicks off here, but even on the other side, you look at what's happening. We talk about power positions. Yes, we saw Sonda popping that ult, but able to clear towards hell. That retake then looked really good, kind of working up the back. Got a little scary at times, but they still have 3 big ults there sitting with them that could be utilized whenever they need. Able to navigate around maybe a poor economy for Flowerful if they feel like they have to. And on the other side, this is where it's down to crunch time. You're going to have the knives there for Smurfette if they feel they want to use them here. You do have the ult with Anya as well. But again, Bulldogs, Light Armor, Spectres, Potter, they are trying to just go to the draw, bits and pieces, odds and ends, just scrape anything together. This is the big round. They have to deny tying this score back up from.
And they're all very much grouped up. All 5 members of Guild very much in this A main area. And as I say, this execute onto A with these ults hasn't been successful, but spotted is Flowerful.
How long does Flowerful stay here? Okay, respects the ult. Does it catch in on the site? I don't believe so. I think Laurie just dipped away towards CT potentially in time, so should be fine. But they can use the ult just to get the plant, and I think that's perfectly fine. I don't think there's much to deny it. I don't think, well, maybe they could. But no, actually Sonda not quite close enough anyway. So, as I said, spike down. Let's see if they can keep this post-plant clean this time. Now they need to kind of construct this ultimate defense here, because they could be in trouble. There is utility being poured in. They've held it late to the post-plant. That's not bad. Lockdown comes in. Ness makes a meal of it, and suddenly there's a way back through. Smurfette holding on with both hands, finally falls to Flowerful. And now Anya and Roxy left in the corner. Surely Roxy's going to find Benita. And now with a couple of seconds remaining, one player does get detained. KP dives on in. What's the rest? What the hell is going on? Gun goes out. They've made an absolute mess of it. Flowerful now finally gets the gun back out after being locked down. But the time's ticking, and Roxy is there. It's 12 for Guild.
So much went down in this round. Round 22, I gotta relook at that entire round.
Please, run it back for us,
At least 5 times. I mean, you saw Benita, she was on that flank. Even though the Killjoy ultimate had 3 seconds left, it forced Benita to knife out, run, to try to break it in time, but Roxy just turns around 180, one flicks her, which then results in KP getting detained, but Sondra thought she was fine, so she dives in on her own, gets punished. I mean, this round was just ridiculous.
I can't believe that's the one that's got them to 12. That's the crazy part in my mind, and Benny's only got a jump.
Okay.
That would look fully smoked to me. That looked fully smoked. Maybe there was a pixel that they noted that they jumped out the window. Benny's still going to make it work. Maybe it's more than a judge in her hands. Seems perfectly happy with it, holding that smoke push up, and they could just fizzle away, and that one looked absolutely on the money. So what the hell do I know about this game? Flowerful does need to fall away from this, though. Give up some of that pressure they had built towards Garage.
Good control, nice pickoffs. And Benita, she's still holding her ground, as she should, with that judge. Oh boy, Guild, they're hoping that she's left.
She hasn't left. She has been waiting patiently the whole time. Benny could be the downfall. He goes one. What is that, Benita? Hits him a 180. Comes back around for the second time, taking them up to 11. They are now 1 away from OT again. It's OT or it's GG, and please let me see that clip of Benny somehow doing that for the Prime Gaming Flawless here. Show me this. Oh, come on, Benny. Come the hell on.
Look at that laugh. Look at that smile.
You know what you've done.
Even she's like, oh, that was all skill, baby. All aim, all skill.
Yeah. And do you know what the worst part of this for Guild is, though? They won the round, they lose the round, their money gets shattered. They've got ults and they need to use them perfectly, Potter. This has to be gorgeous, it has to be refined, it has to be the dream if they want to win here. And I haven't been seeing it up until this point. It's been scrappy, and Shopify Rebellion have been absolutely potent in all these approaches, trying to tee up Laurie, but Claudia, very aware.
Very aware. Claudia's going to go ahead and use her ultimate as well. That should allow Guild to make it into the site. Shopify have been so good on the flank this time around, though. All 4 members were congregated towards the spawn. As I say that, KP and Sonder, they're going to make this flank happen.
And you're missing one of your heavy hitters. Laurie has been game-changing in outcome. She's been able to pressure so much. This time, she's not here for this playback through, so this could be another problem. This could be the 1-1 on the line. They need to start this retake and start it fast. already so aware this on watching these back lines, but Flowerful dips the toe in and finds Smurfette. And now the trade from Anya from the side. The dive in comes in from Heaven. The trades are coming out and Benny's still standing. But the problem is the time started to dwindle and Benny has to find Anya. A tap on the spike and it's Anya! 13-11, the final moments. Benny this time can no longer do it. We are going the distance, all three needed.
I cannot believe how this just unfolded. From round 22 forward, these last 3 rounds have just been devastating if you're Shopify. I mean, the fact that they were able to come back that heavily into the second round just to be shot down and deflated in these last couple of rounds. I mean, kudos to Guild for having that back pocket strategy to just push them over the edge and finish this one out.
Yeah, I thought they were cooked. I think it would be a fair assessment after watching a couple of those rounds. Shopify Rebellion on that turnaround, but Guild resilient to the very end. Considering even the buy they had in that round was far from good. It was broken.
Yes.
That back and forth, the way the rounds were going down. But wow, what a time to turn it on. What a time to finally stand your ground. What a moment for them. And I've got to say, for me, even the step up from someone like Benita in that second half on this map was perfect. She really found her footing here.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know we had Lori continuing her dominance from map 1 and map 2 as well. Ness, we got to talk about Ness and Anya, the 2 support staff coming out here for Guild. I mean, we're always highlighting the duelists,
for sure.
as we should, right? It's so easy, but when you're supporting your teammates and teeing them up for those layups, for those dunks, I mean, it's such a good feeling. So the team for Guild, they've got to be feeling really good right now.
Yeah, maybe a sigh of relief a little, because you're going into Icebox next, and in my mind, I still think this is a very Guild-oriented map. But seeing what Shopify Rebellion did on that turnaround, going above what I thought they could achieve, this is still anyone's game in my mind. I think this could still go either way if Shopify Rebellion show that capability here, Potter. But now we're set at a 1-1. Icebox on the horizon. Do you have a team you are backing? These have been very close games, so I don't think there is a right or a wrong answer here at this point.
Yeah, I gotta go with Guild. They've controlled both maps for me from what I've seen. Heroics are coming out for Shopify, so I hope it continues into map 3. But Guild, they're just looking so sharp right now.
And I think I'm with you. I want it to go the distance. I'm a little worried it could fall short. But we're going to find out after the break, so do stick around.
And of course, in the endless battle between EMEA and NA, can only go the distance to map 3. Welcome back to the desk, everyone. Golden Boy here alongside Kakuka and Athena. And what a game that was. From Benita thinking she's playing Gears of War, doing wall bounces and getting 3Ks. And, you know, it just was absolutely wild top to bottom. Expect no less from these two teams, Kakuka, given how things have shaped out.
I'm still so surprised that things were so evened out. If you look at the stats, almost all of them are on the same level. It's, to me, the only reason why Guild won this map was because they got both pistols. Like, having that leverage right off the beginning of first half definitely gives you a lot coming into the round. Because if we think of this last half, I mean, the only 2 rounds that we saw coming from them that we're actually surprising were very conditioned by all the utility that they had. And I had one round that I wanted to show for when they use all this utility after they plant the spike to actually make sure that they can get the round. The problem is that most of these utility are going to be ultimates, and those things you're not going to have every single round.
Yeah, we'll talk about that round in a moment here. For now, though, let's actually jump into the MVP breakdown to just see the overall series as a whole. But I do agree with you. I want to dive into that round, you know, especially. But Athena, you know, I think looking at this, right, Smurfette had a pop-off performance is something that we were looking for from her, right? She was kind of in the last game, you know, being the initiator, doing the job that she needed to as a duelist. But this time around, definitely finding those frags.
Yeah, for sure. It kind of felt almost like every time she died first, Guild couldn't really convert the round. But Smurfette obviously had like a really, really good round here. Like, I know you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to talk about this run because, you know, it sums up to me what Guild were trying to do, and in so many occasions, it just translated into a heat up, into a, okay, we got the round, we got the plan, now let's use literally everything that we have in our power to secure the round, because every single time they did not play from within the side was a coin toss completely, and most of the times Shopify was coming on top just because of the rotations, just because of the sharp aim, just because Lori was on the server, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the second that you know that Shopify can't really deny the breach util, and like you said, they were util dumping at the beginning, but they started holding it once they got onto the sites. You can tell that Guild finally got the hang of it. They started playing Anya in that hell position, like on A, for example, from that last round, and just completely denying the retake, at least for the first 15 to 20 seconds of that game, like of each round, sorry. So like when you see those kinds of playstyles colliding, that's why these two games are so close, because both of their playstyles are really similar. Like they do like to play like these different comps like on SR, and I think if SR had maybe potentially a KO instead of a Sky, they could have denied the breach post-lance. And that's how Guild finally capitalized on how they should be playing against SR, and that's why, again, I think they finally came on top.
Just think of the impact that every single ult that Roxy has put into place from the attack and from the defense has so much impact, because you literally do not have anything to stop it. I do think that that composition can be improved. This is one of the few cases where I think that, you know, that is the case, because sometimes we see crazy compositions and we're like, oh, we lost because of that. Well, I don't think so. You know, I think that there's many other chances. I think that Guild was really close to losing this one. Had nothing to do with the composition and had everything to do with just wanting more, wanted the round to end now, and expecting Shopify to be mentally destroyed because you're getting a couple of rounds or you're putting too much pressure onto them.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can't really expect that from Shopify Rebellion, right?
Exactly.
Given that this is a team that has played against one of the strongest team in the North American region time and time again, and has seen what that strength is like. So I think, you know, Guild definitely needs to just be a bit more reserved with how they do it. And they made those adjustments, and that's why they were able to pick up that win. Huge victory for them there. But let's actually go ahead and check out where we are right now in the series, and what a series it has been thus far as we go to the box, the frigid tundra of Icebox, to determine who walks away the winner in this NA EMEA clash. And Athena, I genuinely don't know where this one shapes off. Potter feels a little bit more on the Guild side, and I don't blame her, because when you look at the numbers, this definitely does favor Guild. Guild, again, a 71% win rate on this map. They feel comfortable. I like the series layout from them from the beginning, and it's because of that.
Yeah, I mean, exactly everything that you said is correct. I have the NA hopium, but at the same time, you know, Icebox is one of those tricky maps. It seems like for each team, once you're good at it, you're good at it, and if you're not, you're not. Like, doesn't matter how many times you change your comp. But G2 kind of like showed us that maybe they could change it up and change it and do something really cool. I mean, they've done that like previously, where they actually lost Icebox. So it's like, maybe they've changed something up coming into this tournament, and I think that maybe Shopify have done the same thing, changing something coming up into this tournament to let that Icebox go through, because, yeah.
I know that many people are not a fan of Icebox. Yeah. I literally have this love-hate relationship with the map, but definitely I'm on the love part of it right now, because I think that fundamentally it reflects a lot how Ascent is and how Ascent comes into play when we talk about rotations and everything else that comes into play. So I'm really excited to see if the compositions are going to stay the same, because we're going to have something very, very similar. I think that we're going to have a lot of Roxy on Killjoy today, which is something that we love to see. She's been performing wonders, but now we would have, you know, technically Lori moving on to that stage. So let's see.
Yeah, well, it's time now for Map 3's Prime Gaming Agent Select. See what our players are going to end up going for here. And yeah, there's just a lot of questions that will be answered going into this one. To your point, though, about a lot of people have a love-hate relationship with the box. I love Icebox. I'm a big Icebox fan.
The thing is, like, when I'm watching it competitive, I kind of hate it because it tends to go to overtime a lot, and sometimes I feel the frustration on the teams. But to me, when I have to play it, I love playing it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just a map that I vibe with. I misspoke. It was a 68% win rate for GX, but it doesn't really matter. 3% difference, you know, as we start to see this go through, and no real changes, Athena. So, yeah, I mean, no adjustments. Play your game.
Yeah, I mean, for Guild, not having the flash is always like a really, really big gamble on Icebox, because when you do want to push off the offers, especially because they do have a chamber from those angles, you kind of need something other than a drone to do it. But maybe Roxy with her Killjoy is just going to try to put some more pressure on whatever side the chamber is on. But yeah, I mean, both these comps look pretty average, pretty meta. It's just a matter of like, is No Flashes going to harm Guild in this, or are they so confident with their Icebox pick that they just think they can do it?
All right, well, it's time to put it all out there. Leave it all out there on the field. Let's send it back over to your casters to call the action. It's Pansy and Potter. No funny toss this time. It's business.
It absolutely is business time as we do get to the kind of more... the hardest part of this. Yeah, exactly. This is when it really comes down to, because both map 1, map 2, Potter, insanely close. We had OT in map 1. We almost had OT in map 2, but map 3 I'm worried, and I've told you why. I think you were of a similar ilk where we're like, this does feel a little bit more statistically with Guild, but again, the context in my mind here, Potter, is the fact that we saw them besting G2, besting Yo-Yo Navis. Regionally, they have made it a very good map for themselves. Shopify Rebellion need a big performance here, Potter.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's the best point, right? I do think that both these squads are familiar, right?
Yes.
It's Icebox. I mean,
everyone can play it.
Yeah, at least it's not a Pearl as the third, as the decider. It's Icebox. Both these teams are going to be absolutely comfortable. Smurfette not slowing down. Already some damage onto Sonder. What a crossfire Shopify have over here at the A site.
Yeah, that's going to be brutally hard to break if they try and just go straight towards it. Already get a little bit of a top up of a heal being sent out there. Claudio being put back into action eventually, but a great deal of a stack. You've got 4 players on this A site waiting.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the positioning coming out here for Bonita. So forward. A lot of information coming through for her defenders. You can see a little bit of movement coming through here for Shopify, but a quick flank, maybe break this trip. A lot of options here for Shopify. All of Guild are grouped up together in this mid.
Yeah, they're playing as a pack, but they're also trying to find the information, right? This is the first time they're really meeting Shopify here, and there's VALORANT receiving a little bit of that contact. And there's the follow-up. It's Sonder. Gets one, gets 2. Sonder gets 4. It could be the ace here. Sonder, perfect positioning, perfect timing. You could not ask for a better beginning. And Roxy left all on her lonesome. And do they give Sonder the ace? I think they will. Might be. And yeah, Sonder trying through Roxy. Oh no, there we go. Bonita, safe pair of hands at the end. Going, all right, guys, relax, relax. I got you.
Lori is such a good teammate.
Yeah.
Such a good teammate.
I'll
You saw her go,
me.
yeah, come here, Lori. I got you. Come follow me, Sonder. Let's get you that ace. But what a round coming out here for Sonder to just completely annihilate this hit coming out for Guild. And it all started off with that A crossfire, right? You saw Smurfette really trying to press the issue, find that opening for the side of Guild, but 3 people all high load with the crosshairs right onto Smurfette. So a good start and a stronger finish for Shopify.
And this could be a rude awakening for Guild, though, because it's like you finally beat your biggest challenge, which was always going to be, you know, your G2s on this. And then they face a new beast, a whole new competition.
Damage.
And it is a great deal of chip damage.
It made it.
It made it, but at what cost? They do get all the information. They're kind of stuck towards the kitchen. And Bonita on the back line. It's got to be a little careful here. That's a whole lot of players coming your way. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Ness. Rotted down in the end. Sonder still just farming up bodies. Yeah, this is comfortable. This is just watching animals go to slaughter, really, isn't it?
One enemy remaining.
Oh dear.
Spike down.
Run,
team.
Daniel, run. Sonder's yelling at them, and I absolutely love seeing that in the cameras. That's all I'm happy with. It is a Prime Gaming flawless. And I mean, they were corralled towards Tube, but quick reactions from Shopify Rebellion. They're coming into this like they won map 2, like they would just won it clean. They didn't. But apparently the confidence is sky high.
And it's good to see that, right?
Absolutely.
A bunch of piranhas in the water coming through for these kills. Regardless, it's a very clean anti-eco for Shopify. And that should mean a whole heck of a lot coming into this bonus. No one has to repurchase. And again, a lot of forward movements coming out here for Shopify so far. We've seen Bonita having full B main control, and now Pistol and this anti-eco completely contesting all of this mid area. And they're pushing forward. 3 players!
And it's not clean. It wasn't clean enough to do as much damage as required, and that's a rifle that could be taken back to hand. They don't know that. They're not going to commit to that just yet because there's a quick reaction. KP potentially hearing a lot of this, feeling that pressure building up, and Benny on the chopping block too. So between the two, they better be ready for this. Spotting out at least 2 players on the cross. KP has to be so sharp with this. Play it out right. Benita wins her fight, and Sonda's there. The trades, Lori! Come on!
Lori.
These were Spectres, Potter.
She is just on a whole nother level right now. And you know, this is just flashback memories right now of Lori Sage, because she is spectacular at just shifting from that battle Sage to just becoming a plant bot, right? And that's kind of the curse of playing Sage on Icebox. It's very easy to fall into the habit of only trying to safely plant the spike and just becoming a complete full-on team player. But Lori, man, she's got it. She's got that ice in her veins. She is cold.
Everyone called his Sage now is just in absolute tatters after what you just said. Plantbot is now just carved in their minds. But you're spot on. I don't think anyone could have said it better. But at this point, we now look at the economy impacts from the fact that you win the bonus as they did. They get to come out with, I think it was 3 free rifles. Deciding to go for the operator. Why not? Treat yourself a little. But we do have the bonus. Well, not even a bonus, but a buy of some variety coming out. So Sheriff, Spectre, light armor. And no real ult progress enough to kind of propel them on a site in this round either. So Guild just kind of holding at the verge here, but a deeper setup coming out as a response from Shopify.
Smurfette in prime position. Shopify's not going to give her this sort of opening, though. Playing very disciplined, and they're A-okay with the spike potentially getting planted. Zonder, that's a lot of information.
It absolutely is. That should be everyone noted. Lori going to isolate Roxy. No plant yet either. Wall going to be invested. Lori could slip a little close towards the site as well. Having a look around, and it's Guild trying to beg them to make a couple of overextended plays, and they're just really not taking this bait.
Oh, just barely surviving. And Claudia, Lori.
Oh, the timing.
The pings, the utility.
Yeah, the push and the pull. Just keeping the composure under all that pressure. There was so much of it starting to mount on the site, so close up, no plants really being given, but they were right on that doorstep, but still keeping, I think it was, 4 standing there, doing everything that was required. Shopify Rebellion will be very happy even with that round.
Absolutely. For Guild coming into this next one, round 5. This is where Roxy is absolutely going to shine. 1 away from that Killjoy ultimate. And on this map of Icebox, this Killjoy ultimate can get quite a lot of ground, a lot of space on this map. And it's just Sonder who's able to break it. Maybe KP with some incredible shock dart lineups, but expect this Roxy ultimate to come into play this one.
Early information. This should be a bit of a different look, but you can see the switch up here as well. You've already got Benny over towards that A site. You've got the 2 players now with that operator on Flowerful, of course. Happy to take a challenge towards B Long, and oh my word,
hit the drone.
The Owl drone, the MVP just, you know, get down, Mr. President, dives on in, I got you. Unbelievable.
Love this re-aggress from Flowerful. I don't think
it's audacious.
Claudia saw it.
Do they even clear this? I don't think they do. The high flash didn't quite get what was needed. If Sonder was able to get that a little bit deeper, a little bit closer towards, you know, B rather than kind of just tapping over towards yellow, might have actually been able to facilitate something, but not to beat. Flowerful gone, and now that's a big scalp to claim on that B site.
It is. You can see that Roxy and Anya want to rendezvous and regroup back with the squad. Spike on Anya's back, and Guild, they've got all of this B control.
Standing ahead.
Okay, that's, oh my word, the information that KP just got. Noting 3 players, that should be a full commitment here. Benita even starting to build up as well. You got the wall coming in, but the spam comes out. His wall's still in place, so the plant should be able to come in, and the body block alone should be able to keep Roxy safe for that. Plant goes in, and now we look at the post plant. No flank there just yet. Benita still en route. It's going to be trapping away. That's been dealt with, so attention will be pulled. Could dip back through middle, and there's that lockdown coming into play.
This should solidify this post. Shopify, they've got to speed things up, either fall back or push forward. One or the other. No other options on the table right now. They decide to just wait it out. Spike, still a lot of time left on the clock.
There's no sitting in between, but Anya sitting towards the site. Catches out Benita and Smurfette with a shutdown so far. This retake has not got the validity they wanted to it, and Sonder is out to their first answer back for Guild. This will be the first on the board in some time, and Sonder actually looking to catch a couple on the way out.
Oh.
Not to be. Roxy gets to keep the rifle, and 4 stay alive.
That could have been huge for Sonder to punish that sort of money. Now Guild have an absolute chance to be able to string multiple rounds together. Roxy's ultimate absolutely solidified the last. Now Claudia has that Hunter's Fury coming online. Anya even with the res. So now Guild have a lot to play with. They can allow Smurfette to be even more aggressive, just like we know she likes to do. Try to look for that opening because you've always got that res in the back pocket. And for Shopify's side of things, they just need to go back to business as usual, right? They've been playing so disciplined with the perfect amount of map control. Benny has completely controlled that B main area, so expect to see a little bit more of that, but I say that they've swapped.
Switch up again.
Benita's towards that A site now.
And we saw that before when the operator came out for Flowerful, so I wonder if it's once that operator comes into play, they just hit the switch up on this. It's not out of the ordinary to see, you know, Viper sitting over towards that A site, but again, I think you're right. The fact it's Benita who can be that rock, be that safe pair of hands, going to deal with the trap quite quickly. That's going to be quite nice. This could alert them though. KP should be well within audio distance to note that, so that could be something to be worried about later on. For now, just kind of testing the waters. You will expect them just to do it to give them insurance for later, but no massive commitment anywhere just yet.
Definitely have slowed things down. A lot of time has passed since Claudia shock darted this trip, so she's gonna test her luck. She's so alone though, and it's all just a ruse. You never expect a Sova to just be alone in kitchen. The rest of her squad is inching their way forward in this A site. But look at the movements. No one's coming towards this A. The plant, it's possible here.
Yeah, it's very possible, even with Sonder doing wonders. It's still maybe, you know, the nade there, 2 flashes, a little bit of utility to play, but you can see KP starting to lean over. Benny maybe starting to get a little closer towards this. Utility comes in. They got to know there's now danger here. Smurfette super close up. Sonder backside. How much can you do? The nade in hand, it could have been a death sentence, but gets to live to fight another day. But the spike's still not down. 15 seconds. They need to get on the site itself. Anya gonna do the best they can to do something about this. 10 seconds now. Laurie on the trade out. Plant gonna come in. Plant now down. Post plant starts. Nets locked on the site. No way out. Sunder with a punish. Wall still up, and the defuse starts. Isn't stopping. Firefall gonna find Anya in the follow up. Good work on the play back through.
Perfect amount of utility and the pressure that Guild were feeling in that moment. We knew it. They didn't know, but the site was clear. And by the time they actually decided to take ground, the rotations had already come through. Just so much oppressive utility coming through to make that plant near impossible. And that's the deal you make when you go towards that A site. It just gets so hectic. People, the defenders are able to flood in, perfectly set up all their lineups. A site is quite hectic.
I feel like you're getting like flashbacks here.
I am. I'm getting a little sweaty.
It's hectic. I don't like it. And the thing you got to say at this point is we were mostly putting this in favor of Guild, and currently seeing it at 5-1 in the fashion it's been. This has, as much as it's been messy and scrappy, I don't think this has been a close game yet. I don't think I've seen that dominance. I haven't seen that reliance on hitting that A site over and over and getting those plants, post plants in. No. And already the first pick, Flowerful. This is the switch up. We're seeing that other look now. They've got Benita back towards the other side of the map, soloing out towards that B side. Smurfette. Dangerous play, but the angle so good for Laurie. Depth from above, but a quick trade. Claudia gonna get things back within touching distance, and the ult invested.
Viper's Pit does go down. Sonder is in a very poor position. She's deciding to stay inside the ultimate, hopefully.
But no one's on the site.
Yeah, Flowerful needs to shift over.
And the ult gets pulled in by Claudia, but if Sonder sits here, this is still so much information. Yeah, it's a huge angle! It's so good from Sonder! You don't get that sort of play every day of the week! That is such heads-up play and positioning from Sonder.
1 HP. She decides to put herself in that disadvantageous position, but she's rewarded with 3 kills for it. My goodness, the individual decision-making coming through here to just be a hero in that moment. Things were dicey. Viper's Pit is always so difficult to deal with, but Sonder's just different.
I mean, the way it divides, the fact that she was able to slip in there and no one noted, no one see it, she was able to hold it. So the second they try to get that spike down on the side, they'd cross into such a favorable position for her. But you're right, it's 1 HP. One thing goes wrong, a shot comes back, you're dead. And then you look a little silly, you look out of position. But it worked out so well in Sonder. We've seen Laurie having big games. We've seen Benny having some really key moments. Flav, a couple of the other players. Sonder here, rekindling some of that brilliance as well. The KO looking real nice. Obviously that pistol kind of propelling her up a little bit. Confidence sky high. Other side, not the same to be said. It's anyone who watches EMEA, I know you're out there, chat. When did you last see Roxy with 3 kills? It's quiet. Normally, lovely positioning, really good player. Key, you know, great lurks coming in, great approaches to the game. Just really lovely mindset. Here, that's the top fragger too. I mean, you got Roxy and Claudia sitting on 3, man. No one's above 5 kills right now for Guild.
Yeah, this timeout should mean a lot for Guild. They should be talking about right now that they need to be able to get into these sites without having to full on exec. We need to be finding some openings. Flowerful has been very successful on that front. Let's try to set up Smurfette to have that same sort of success. I like the spread out default that Guild have been coming through with. They've gotten to be able to get that B main control, but a little bit more poking and prodding in the mid round should open up something for the side of Guild.
The thing is for Shopify though as well, they're in such a power position with the ults too. KP can build up theirs, Benita can build up theirs, everyone else sitting pretty with it. If they ever feel that pressure, they need to hit that emergency stop button. They've got it there. It's all in place now. Now, early presence up towards Tube, but Zonda unafraid, unabashed to go for it. Laurie looking sharp still, kind of carrying on from that last map, but the confidence is brimming now.
Starting to stew up, especially on these ecos.
Absolutely. Farm it up.
Flowerful in prime position. No drone to sabotage her this time. She still misses. She's able to TP away, save her life.
Enemy down.
Yeah, this is comfortable so far. No one being truly threatened yet. Flowerful did have to get out of there, but no problem.
Maybe Guild can get away with the plant. They still got the Viper wall up. I mean, you've got to really rely on Shopify to be lazy here to be able to pull that one off.
Yeah, they're on it now. The Prime Gaming flawless. And yeah, it was just with the pistols. It wasn't, you know, a crazy round to be screaming about, but hey, you take them when you get them. Everything working in the right direction here. Benny getting close to the ult as well. KP still about the similar scenario. So all said and done, the problem in my mind is the Guild do not have that power round hitting for a while. Yes, Anya still has that ult. No one else does to supplement it or complement it. And they're not particularly close to getting to that point either. So I'm a little worried that, as said, whenever Guild finally hit it, the counter's right there for Shopify. There is no sweat in that. They're in a good power position in this. At 7-1. I can't believe this is the most one-sided game we've had so far.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, the desk talked about how difficult things might become on the attack side with no flashes. Usually you compensate with that with the amount of map control and pressure you're applying, but Guild are not able to get any of that done. Benita still controlling this B main. That drone did not get a lot of value. They still don't know who is where right now.
This is the first time we are seeing Benita, when they've run this look without Flowerful being here, being pressured, I feel. So this will be interesting to see how hard it is to get past this, if they can extrapolate much information. KP already good supported position. Counter Aldro going to go in. You can see Benita trying to be working in tandem with this. Doesn't note anyone. May have seen it on the Aldro. And yeah, Benny, nasty little one-way almost there. Trade, but KP ready to bail them out. Fighting together! But the trades are effective, and that is the one ult that they had that was valuable is Anya. So that gets brought back up. They have advantageous numbers, and here's that lurk. Finally, Potter, we're seeing it.
Yes, Roxy, working the map. All it took was just a little bit of time. Beautiful. A side is completely Guild's. They know it. Spike will be beelining their way. Now, Songer has a slight inkling here. If she's able to get this shot, things can become dicey on this retake with that res, but Roxy finally just coming alive.
Nice, that's what you needed. And I'm surprised they didn't test this out earlier, maybe after. It's hard to get a read when we have seen these adjustments from Shopify Rebellion. But really starting to feel out the game here, and lovely. Necessity really required for Guild to give themselves a chance. Need to close out the rest in my book as well to have a really solid game. Obviously, a little tough on this half, but they've never struggled to this degree in my mind. I've never seen them down this bad. You know, normally you get to see Roxy finding that space, but first time we've really seen this effort towards exploring this side of the map without that operator in the way.
And this is exactly where Claudia steps up as that captain. I've been so impressed with Claudia's story and her progression in the competitive scene. So definitely looking on her to get the squad together, rack some points on the board here. The ultimates. Shopify have so many coming into this round. This Viper's Pit should be able to control this B main for quite some time. Drone doesn't tag. Oh, and the dart doesn't either.
Yeah, Benny knowing her lines, knowing her routes, knowing where to be. Yeah, I can just post up on this.
Oh, that was a huge dart coming out.
Yeah, temptation.
She
How
wanted
disciplined
to
are you,
so
Benny? How
bad.
disciplined are you? Willing to sacrifice maybe the Viper's Pit? No. Roll it back a couple of years. Make Shopify look more like CLG. You'd have seen her having a wonder. Just respecting the IGL on this team much more than that one on the previous. But still, patience being shown and allowing for this 3-play stack to feel confident in standing here, not having to worry about middle too much. You're right.
Sonder able to find that Sova, and as I said before, usually you don't find a Sova alone as that sole initiator. Roxy, this ultimate should get a lot of value. Sonder, oh,
Nice.
that's beautiful.
Really
that's
nice.
beautiful.
And they've got to know what's coming their way. 3 players here, ready and waiting. Support comes in. Sonder pops the ult and actually goes down. I thought maybe he got away with murder. Somehow evading. Oh, the information again. KP in all the chaos keeps composure. And now we're in a 3v3 standing. Rez denied that, cannot come back up, but KP one away from the ult. Still 2 shock dodge. The plant goes in. All 3 on the side of KP, ripping them to shreds. Claudia barely breathing, 50 HP to work with, gets 1. Another shot, no!
Wow.
Flowerful, great positioning on the trade.
Wow, the positioning coming out for all these members. Sonder just having a blast out here in the A site. Fantastic defenses coming through here for Shopify.
Really nice.
I mean, yeah, things got dicey, sure, but that's because there's so many bodies coming and execing. Shopify were in control. Sonder just looked so cool, calm, and collected in that back site.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part to my mind. There was never that pressure deeper, right? It was get the plant and that's fine, but backside there was 3 players pretty much chilling. KP, fantastic presence throughout that. Really good round from her, but outside of that, though, we still look at this, and I know when Guild probably watches back, they're going to kick themselves. They haven't identified much about this B site. Mid still seems a little bit of an unknown quantity. I know it's Icebox, and we love going A. I get you. But there's still so few tests put to Benita here, who's been left to pretty much solo this with the occasional lean from KP.
Right here.
Definitely things get very difficult with just one initiator, and you're starting to see the pain from that poor Guild. Benita not under a lot of pressure. She's just consistently able to tuck behind the drone, wait out the dart, or either break both and not get punished. So 2 of her teammates are coming to reinforce the defenses here at B, but Guild, they are very much grouped together here.
Okay. Last time around, we saw this going quite nicely for Shopify.
Revealing area.
There's those nerdy
What's
darts.
this?
Yeah, where's that going? See how many people get noted. Yeah, you can see the information free-flowing in KP. You're already going to find a little bit of chip damage on towards Anya, but it was Laurie to really find the bigger chunk of it. The flash, a little questionable, but it's Roxy, Claudia, and Ness to try and make something happen. And it's on Claudia pretty much here. The veteran herself has to face the music as they are now flooding towards her. So little to do and so little time to do it. Benny gets the best of her. There's going to be left on 2 here for Guild.
What a combo coming out here for KP. I think she got 4 pings with that dart and at least 2 tags with the Hunter's Fury as well. Beautiful set piece coming through here for Shopify. That's something they've been cooking up for quite some time, for sure.
I mean, this is the thing, and I've got to give credit here for Shopify. If you are going to leave a player solo like Benny, who's trying to buy you time, when the site hit comes, you better be ready to be able to build back in. Have everything in the right place for it, and the utility work to allow that to happen has been fantastic. So credit to that. And again, this is the weird thing, right? In my mind, Benny's got 5 kills. KP's got 5 kills. Quiet, right? Technically. But you think about the work they've been putting in for the bigger picture, huge. And the buy coming out from Guild Potter is rough.
Rough indeed, but they're trying to make up for it with some aggression, but Bonita just sprays them down. 3 members down without even a trade in sight. Somehow Roxy is able to recover 1 for herself, but just like that, in the matter of seconds, it's 4 versus 2.
They're pleading for mercy at this point. Rez gonna come out as well. You're up against the 5. And you're not close to the ult either, so that cannot be lent upon. And now you've got Flowerful. The audio's heard. Flowerful delivers it. Roxy down. Anya, a 1v5 to give them some hope into the half, and that hope is dwindling. It is dire straights here. First found for Anya, needs 4 more, gets another 3 more, and considering the flank.
Oh, the res?
Oh my god. Oh my god, the res. Anya is putting in work. Anya is doing everything that she can, but will fall for it. And Flowerful in combination with KP shut down the account. It's 10-2, Potter. This is looking tied up.
It is looking, I mean, completely dominant for Shopify for sure. They were in full control that entire time. Bonita, it was desperate plays coming out for Guild in this last round, right? They wanted to compensate and maybe catch Guild or Shopify off guard with that aggression, but they're so ready. Bonita just spraying down completely, having fun. This was Shopify's half through and through.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's 10-2. This is as one-sided as we've seen so far. This could be Guild whimpering out of this game. Maybe the desk can give us some hope.
Whew. Well, that escalated quickly. Very clear that Shopify Rebellion came out to play Kakuka. Already out of the gate, you can just see the way that Shopify are playing. It feels like we're looking at a completely different team in comparison to the first two maps.
It reminded me of when Mel was shouting at G2 yesterday, don't go to her side, don't go to my side, just don't go anywhere, because it's literally what's happening to Guild. They're not being able to work out the map, and I wanted to show up a round that really sums up everything that we've been seeing. I think that I could have chosen many other examples.
There were a lot of good rounds.
But basically, Claudia goes on a hunt over Kitchen, but there's been 40 seconds already passed from the round, and she's dead. And she dies just because of the position that she takes. The moment that they try and get onto site, it's already too late. I think this one is not the round, but it's still, even with that, the pressure is not going to be enough because of the control that Shopify Rebellion has had over the site over and over again.
Yeah. One other thing, too, the note that has been very impressive is really just been the utility usage as well, right? They've been getting so much value from those knives, from the Sova darts. Like, it's so difficult to stop.
Yeah, the basic problem that the Guild has been having during this attack is that they want to plant the spike before they have control over the site. And you need to get your priorities in order, okay?
Yeah, that's right. Well, now looking ahead, Athena, this is dire. 10-2 is what we're looking at here for Guild to have to come back. It's going to be a Herculean effort.
It looks dire, but there's hope.
There's hope.
Because if we look at the comp right here, so you can see in Guild's comp, they actually do have the 2 Sentinels plus the Sage, so technically the 3 Sentinels. But these guys are going to be able to hold the sites. They're going to be able to leave that Killjoy mid and not be able to, like, they don't have to fight for information as much as Shopify have had to fight. And so with Shopify, with the double initiators, the KO is obviously able to kind of destroy and like take over the sites and kind of destroy the competition. But I think here with the 2 Sentinels and Anya kind of putting in work, they might be able to just get away with it and hold down the defense side. That's the only thing that they can hold on to right now.
Yeah, that would be the hope, right? That would be the dream in this particular instance. But Kakuka, as our EMEA hopium person here, what are we looking at? Do you feel like they can bring this back?
They need to be very careful about the position, and I do think that the KO can be capital. It's not only that you can shut down Roxy, you can shut down also Sage and the wall if you want to use it defensively, so they need to be very careful.
All right, well, look, guys, if there's one thing I've learned in my years covering Valorant, anything is possible. So let's see what ends up happening here and send it back over to your casters.
Thank you. 10-2, though, is a tall task. Be right, GB. Anything can and will happen in the next couple of seconds. Guild have the roster to maybe do something, but it's got to start now, Potter. There is no two ways about it.
Absolutely. Sonder figuring out exactly if anyone is close. Shopify have all that information, and this drone should give the tell that no one is defending this A site besides the Sova. Gets a little bit of information. Claudia almost breaks her ankles.
Just keeping it interesting.
Shock dart lineups. Oh, I like that combo. The dart with the Sova recon, and they should be. Oh, the
nice. There you go. That's the. I'm looking to see if Roxy can do a little more of that throughout this. You can see it's just that kind of very cautious back and forth, but it is going to be the plant finally coming in. And it did, in the meantime, take down Sonder. So at this point, we are in the post plant. 4 players for the side ready to go on this. I do want to see KP's position eventually. Wonder if they get a little closer to that, but no. Absolutely no way back through. Can't even spot a player. There it is. Okay, spots Anya. Spots out another, but it's Smurfette's flying foul.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my word. Okay. Ness, don't give this one up. What the hell is going on? And now KP is given more opportunities, and the shock dart's ready to go. Still one more, and the recon finally being pushed. It's Claudia to take matters into her own hands. Tired of losing, tired of being done in this, and tired of the game being the other side's. They have 2 standing. They will be fine. The defuse can come in, and Guild will get that critical pistol.
That pistol was funny business for me to spectate. You know, I think KP somehow found herself in that 410 area. She had 2 shock darts. I'm sure she would have wanted to play those lineups in tandem with Bonita's mollies, but somehow she finds her way, able to get 2 kills with that jumping classic as well, but Guild had full control almost the entire time. And Claudia, nice little one-taps.
There it is.
To convert. That's gotta feel good if you're Guild. I mean, it starts with something, right? And pistol certainly helps.
Because this game was feeling so oppressive, so heavy against you. When you see 10 on the board, as much as, you know, every round by round is fun. You know, we tell ourselves this, you know, 10's all they get, the classic. But at this point, it is oppressive. It is hard to kind of disarm that feeling of one mistake, one problem.
Oh, no.
Oh, speaking of problems, Bonita and Lori are huge issues. And Guild might have just fumbled this round.
KP recovers the spike. Sandra has so much control. And she's going to be able to bring the spike right on over. I mean, at this point, Ness, she can't even afford to rotate. It's only 2 members in Anya and Roxy. Spike will be planted.
Spike down. Roxy closing the gap.
That's
Anya
a shot.
Takes away the player on the site that was powerful. Bonita gets caught on the back line, so that's Ness now noticed there's 2 on the site, and it's actually a win for Ness here. The defuse going to be started, and it ain't really stopping, nothing to deny it. Oh, no! Nuri dives in, and KP's still alive. And it's a 1v1. And KP's got Hunter's Fury. If she feels like she needs it, she can pop that. 2 shock darts. This... Oh, the bait. The bait is... Ness doesn't care. Ness could not care less, but KP's positioning. Perfect. The bait on the ult, and they just don't even turn.
200 IQ.
It's just...
200 IQ. I mean, it couldn't have been played any more perfectly. KP making that Hunter's Fury sound cue, hoping that that makes Ness really freak out a little bit, maybe jump around, at least get off that half defuse. And the positioning for KP, you know, the round before I said being in that 410 area was a little bit weird, but this time around, she absolutely converts. Oh, what a clutch. What a clutch. Yes, point at the camera, get yours.
The Guild are going to be in pieces. I can't say anything else about it. You've now got 11 against you. You've got the money on their side. It is going from bad to worse. This is the worst nightmare. You've kept it close. You've done well on those first 2 maps. You had everything you wanted, and you probably felt safe in map 3. Shopify Rebellion already on the site, already getting the plant. You got the ultimate ratty play in spawn from Benny. It's disgraceful. And now Guild, well, try and take this, you know, try and pull off the retake. You got 2 shock darts on Claudia and Aldrone. That will help. Take down Flowerful. Now you just need a couple more of those.
Imposter kill.
Nice shot for Lori. She is all alone. That's a lot of damage. Okay.
Oh, come on. Oh, I want to get out of here. And so apparently the Shopify Rebellion, this one. Ooh, it's too early in the day. We're still, you know, before the watershed. It's 6:15 where I'm at. We can't be putting this on TV. 12-3 now, and the buy, the final purchase that they could potentially get if they lose this round, is going to be without potential armor. It's going to be light armor. It's going to be skipping out odds and ends, and Lori's just chilling. And I mean, this has been the whole game through. Lori is mechanically filthy, like hitting some nasty shots.
KP just reassuring. Just one more. One more. We sealed the deal. Beautiful stuff. And this time it seems like Shopify want to take the round a little bit slower. Flowerful prime position, but a quick reaction for some Smurfette to be able to punish. Lori does have that res. I expect Shopify to regroup here, get Flowerful back on the board. Oh no, and Smurfette gets punished.
All comes in for Benny. Now, no one's that close by here. Trying to play around this a little. Spike on the way. Gives them safe passage at least so they can cross up without being contested. Benny taking a lot of room as well. Wall goes in. Oh, spam's good. The spam was good, but it was right back at them as well. Ness on 21. Benny down to 30, so a pretty even exchange. Claudia going to carry on where they left off. Takes out Benny, and that's now the ult removed. Roxy wins out in mid. It ain't over yet. Sonda with the underhand flash in the swing, and at least isolate Roxy, who turns it quick enough. Gets out of the flash, leaving Lori down to the last pieces with Flowerful in a 1v4. Defuse started, it ain't stopping. Anya wants this done. They want to move on to the next round, and the defuse is there. Still life with Guild. They need a whole lot more of that, though.
A whole lot of luck as well. I mean, Bonita was just, it seemed like that one ping really sabotaged her, right? She was in that Viper's pit. Seemed like Shopify had every advantage that they would have wanted, but a little bit of RNG coming out to play. And Bonita gets absolutely punished. And this is the start, right? If you're Guild, this is absolutely the start. One round at a time, and this is the perfect timing as well because it's round 17 and look at the ultimates coming on board right in the nick of time for Guild. This is it. This is where you make your stand and try to string these rounds together.
Deep breaths. Oh no! Forced away. And yep, can't get that position working either. And the information is just free-flowing towards Shopify Rebellion here.
3 agents revealed for Sonder and crew. And this is going to speed things up for Bonita. She's starting to inch her way forward in that kitchen area. I expect Sonder and crew to slow things down. Maybe allow Bonita to break this alarm bot. Maybe the turret.
Such a tense round here. You can tell what's on the line. Guild have to suspend the disbelief, but the temptation to push is fair. This would be audacious. The shot just clipping over the shoulder there. And still tempting to move in. Yeah.
Bonita heard Roxy thunderfooting her way back towards that A. Arches.
Still so hard to clear the site though. Still a little bit of utility can go a long way.
30 seconds left.
Spike is committed towards this A site, so even with this pressure maybe noted, how much do they get done on this? Roxy on the way through, KP finds one, there's a trade out, Benny's got the back line, KP up top, looks for some more, doesn't see the player, so Claudia gets the punish.
No!
The turn from Claudia, it's 3 critical kills, needs more though, needs 2 more, and there it goes for a second. There was a touch of the comeback potentially in that round, but it wasn't to be. Shopify Rebellion against the odds, doing damage here in the third.
And what a way to close it out in map 3 as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't off the back of some incredible heroic play off an individual. That was completely teamwork, showing the dream work. You saw the rest of Shopify just slowing it down completely. They understood their win condition was going to be to allow and give Bonita some time to make it happen. That pinch came through from that kitchen, and it was game on for Shopify from there.
It certainly was, and I've got to say, Shopify Rebellion looking like they warmed up throughout that game. First game, we went OT. It was a long, drawn-out affair, very close. A couple of issues either way. Second map, Guild looking a little bit more established at times. We saw Laurie having a hot game as well there. Everything starting to warm up a little. And Icebox, I thought, would be the one that would sit with Guild. I thought that'd be the map after seeing them online, having a lot of faith in a lot of the players on that one, but it just wasn't to be here because Shopify Rebellion, I feel like they got away with some daylight robbery. Benny barely getting tested at times. Huge performance from her on that safe pair of hands. Sonder, massive impact at the start. Yeah, what a fantastic map to close it on to really put that confidence sky high.
Yeah, and you know, Lauren, second day where this years of experience are really coming through on this big stage. I mean, the squad of Shopify, again, they're feeding off that experience from Bonita, hey?
You're absolutely right. And yeah, the experience is holding firm here, but again, you can see it, the young players feeling more and more comfortable as the game went on. You started to see them warming into it, feeling that confidence, feeling that stage presence, and getting the crowd on your side. I mean, this crowd's getting a little, invested in the teams. I kind of like to hear it. Everyone cheering for the team that they fancy in this one, that they really want to see win. They all want to be supporting in this, and it's so good to see. And as I said on the other side, though, for Guild, you got to say, kind of blown out on that last map. It wasn't a pretty game. And as you rightly highlighted, it wasn't just one player running through them. It wasn't just one player really tearing them to pieces. It was a group collective effort. So I think Guild, they watch the VOD back, they'll be pretty frustrated. They weren't able to identify many of those issues.
Absolutely. If there was one player, though, that we should highlight to say it was a one-man team, it should be Sonder, right?
Sure.
I mean,
Sonder gets in that one.
To start off the third map of things, I mean, 4 kills.
We can round up.
That's momentum, baby.
Oh, hell yeah. You don't slow down from that. You start just feeling good in the game. You're like, I've got this. As said, though, this isn't just about that final map. It's about the entire series here. The player of the match. The vote will be down below us in a second's time, so do make sure you let your thoughts get through to us. So who stood out to you the most throughout the entire series? If we go series long, well, let's say Shopify Rebellion, who'd you go for?
Laurie.
You You go Lori?
It's gotta be
Yeah,
Lori.
no, that's true.
It's gotta be Lori.
That's fair, that's fair.
Yes.
And there you go, you've got a couple of options down there to pick from. Have your choice. I don't have my glasses, they're down here. I can't see, I'm very blind. Yeah, Lori's up there, you'll be fine. You can get your choice in, so do get your phone out, scan the QR code, and let us know who stood out to you. Because honestly, fantastic series throughout. I think that over-delivered almost in my mind.
Absolutely. I mean, it hit all the check marks. This series hit all the check marks.
Well, I think that's about it from us, but we have plenty more games to come up today, so do stick around. Fabulous matchups will be coming up after this break.
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
And I didn't wanna wait that long. Did you love me? I can't remember. I've been dreaming for way too long. Oh, so it goes again, on and on and on. The whispers, they just always take flight. Oh, so it goes again, on and on and on. Whatever I say doesn't come out right. Oh, what can I say? I've been dreaming for too long. You're not here to stay. I dream with you, but you're gone. Clouding up my brain. I still want you, I'm insane. You're not here to stay, and I'm addicted to the pain. But you're gone. Nights to remember, and I didn't wanna give them up, but you took me and threw me under. I guess I wasn't enough. Oh, so it goes again, on and on and on. The whispers, they just always take flight. Oh, so it goes again, on and on and on. Whatever I say doesn't come out right. Oh, what can I say? I've been dreaming for too long. You're not here to stay. I dream with you, but you're gone.
The hype is real. Can't wait to dive into this one. We have 4 teams, 20 fierce competitors. They are all ready to go. So all that's left is just get this party started. Let's light her up.
A big trade. Laurie picks up Maya. What a shot from Laurie. Oh my god! What is that?
Holy! Let's go, baby.
Hold on.
Not
got one.
Oh my!
Working them down, but the time is of the answer. Roxy with a belting shot. Oh my god!
That's right. Oh my god!
Sonda destroys two of them. The last two alive, and Sonda is immovable. Sonda takes them over the line. Shopify Rebellion walking away with map 1. Time starting to dwindle, though they're going to start running out of it. Laurie's position gets checked. Great work from Roxy. And now they're scrambling. They're trying to do what they can. The defuse! Trade comes out from this, but Laurie, right position, right time. Laurie ain't stopping until then. Oh, Laurie with one, and Laurie doesn't know how to lose. Time, Benny could be the downfall. He goes one. What is that, Benita? We are going the distance. All 3 needed. Sonda's there. The trade's Laurie. Come on. Yeah, it's a huge angle. It's so good from Sonda. You don't get that sort of play every day of the week. The bait. Ness doesn't care. Ness could not. That's for KP's positioning. And there it goes. Shopify Rebellion against the odds. Doing damage here in the 3rd.
Welcome back, everyone. Those are your Prime Gaming post-match highlights, and let me tell you, it was a highlight reel of a series between Shopify Rebellion and Guild X. Shopify Rebellion walk away with the win, but like, look, the Icebox game, you know, withstanding, like, I think looking at the other 2 maps as well, like, this was a series that had everything you possibly wanted.
Yeah, I think that on the B-roll that we just watched, with all the screams, everybody going crazy, you can tell that round to round, they know where it's at stake. They know that, you know, they have to protect their name and lift it up, especially for how they have been treated in the respective regions.
Yeah, I mean, can I just say, yo, NA, let's go, baby! Let's go!
Hey, look at that! Yeah. Eat that Yinsu anyway. It's fine. You'll join us later. No. But jokes aside, though, I mean,
I cannot wait until Team Liquid just knocks them to the lower bracket.
Oh my God! Look at the spice.
Goodness, the double prediction.
Right, we can't with her right now. But let's take a look though at the MVP breakdown of where we are with that map, because Icebox as a whole, Athena, was dominant for Shopify Rebellion, start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it just looked like Guild could not get their momentum, like, at all. Like, Shopify just kept going and going and going. They had the energy, like you said, in the comms, you could hear the screaming, the yelling, the vibes, the hype. Guild could not find a single thing to do, and anytime it did start to work out, you'd have Sonder just coming in, destroying the whole plan every single time.
To me, the end point was when KP fakes that Hunter's ult.
That was so good. Hunter's bait.
Yeah. She literally is like, okay, I'm going to toss from here, and she's never going to think that I'm literally behind her. So I just think it's been beautiful to watch. I think that everything worked for them, and also it's very hard to be in this environment, to go to the final map with, you know, having our first overtime here in Championship of Game Changers, the second map being 13-11. Now when you have a 10-2 half, it's almost impossible for Guild mentally to just come back from that.
Yeah, I think for Guild too, it's definitely really hard to kind of predict.
Oh my God, look at Laurie.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the numbers are nuts.
Yeah, like I think for Guild it's really hard to predict or expect something from Shopify, because they haven't seen them play this map that many times before. And Shopify obviously were prepared. They came in ready, and it showed in so many more ways than one.
Yeah, I just was honestly impressed with how they tackled Icebox. I was convinced that Guild were going to have, you know, a little bit more to show there, but the way of which the Shopify Rebellion just took advantage round after round after round, every single opening that Guild left. And you would think, okay, well, maybe on the defensive side, you know, you got a lot of Sentinels on that side. Maybe that could be but even with that, they were destroying the utility early. They were not really allowing Guild to get any kind of presence on the map.
Yeah, completely. The problem to me as well is that the same Guild that started the series is the same one that ended it. To me, they were just as nervous as they were on the first map coming into the third one. And I understand understand that the pressure is a lot, but it's one of the parts of being a competitive player.
Yeah, very true, very true. Well, look, earlier we asked you guys to vote for your in-zone player of the match, and we have the results. They are in. Let's see who it is, and it's Lori, but Sonder was close.
Really close because of that last map. Yeah. Let me tell you, that last map, and the first one as well, I think that these two players played amazingly during the entire series, but it had to be Lori, honestly. She played 3 different ages, from the Sage, from the Sky, and then the KO, if I'm not mistaken, and she was wonderful in all of them.
I just want to say, look, I voted for Benita because of the Gears of War wall match. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, no shocker there. Lori had a great game.
Yeah, Lori was popping off, and I think the really, really important thing to note, like I know why Sonder came in second and why it was so close, and she was able to contain backside on A on Icebox on defense side so well.
Time after time.
Time after time. She was literally just abusing and containing that back of sight, and she was letting absolutely no one through. I mean, she was yeeting flashes over and just peeking. Even if the flashes didn't hit, she had so much confidence just going in and going for the peaks that I think that she genuinely just like really popped off. So huge props to Sonder, but of course Lori just throughout the board, like she was popping off game after game after game, making plays, flashes, setting up her team, and also going in first. Like it was insane. It was really fun to watch.
I wonder what it's going to be of Guild now, you know, and if they're going to be able to bounce back, because when we were talking about NA and EMEA yesterday, of course, at least C9 White is skipping one of those lower bracket rounds, but Guild is going to have to go all through it. It's not something that they're completely unfamiliarized with, but especially with what we've seen today, I'm kind of worried for them.
Look, it's going to be a journey no matter what, you know, but these teams are so talented, so prepared for the moment here. But now it's time to hear from the winner of that match. We actually have Potter standing by with my new favorite player, Lori, for our Verizon post-match interview.
Yeah, thank you so much, GB and the desk. I have Lori. And Lori, that match was insane. From start to finish, you were in it, in the thick of things. I have to go back. I mean, it was a little bit ago, but Haven, round 22, you guys were so close to making that comeback an actual thing in the second half. And that round where Killjoy ulted down in short A, Benita was on that fast flank, and you guys almost made that A retake happen. And you lost. What was the communication like in the squad? Was it very deflating? How did you end up bouncing back in that third map?
Oh, we weren't worried at all. Like, I think one of the things we emphasized this event was to just keep each other up. So after the match, I was just like, yo, it's okay. We have one more map. Like, we got this. Like, you know, that was just unfortunate. Like, they had everything, and we just kind of messed up, and we were making that comeback happen. That's for sure. So we knew Icebox was our map, and we showed it.
Okay, nice. Well, there's been a little bit, your Icebox, look, it's Icebox, right? Everyone is used to the map by now, but historically in NA, you guys haven't had the closest matches, especially when it comes to Cloud9 White, right? So has there been any sort of adjustments that you guys have made specifically for this tournament on that map?
I think not just that map, it's just about playing together and calming to like swing together, or just, you know, use flashes, be patient. And that was something we drilled for like the last 3 weeks. And after when that gets mastered, like Icebox is like one of our favorite maps.
Nice. Okay, I have one last question for you. It's a Sage specific question. Because, you know, we were talking about it on the cast, and as a Sage player, as a Sage main, it can get so easy to just tunnel vision and fall into the habit of only planting, right? Just becoming a plant bot. Has there been any specific talks that you guys have had as a squad to set you up for more success so that you can have some better duels for yourself?
Yeah, well, I actually got in trouble for kind of tunneling on those plans.
Okay.
So, you know, they called me out and I worked on it. And then if I really have trouble, no matter what I do, I just ask for the flashes, the darts, like make sure I get that plant down, because like our post plants, we're going to win our post plants.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for joining me. I know you must be tired. Get back to practice, and we'll see you hopefully making it further into the tournament. And I think we're going to take a quick break now, but we've got more matches coming up, so stick around and we'll be right back.